I can't hear you, Priscilla.
All right, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Perfect. Okay, welcome to the live. Hello. Hi, Tuti. Thank you for being here. Hello. I think my other guest, something came up. So I'm going to talk to Giorgio. He's definitely MGM too. And I wanted to address like there is some kind of beef between like the MGMs and the biracial people. So I kind of wanted to address it. Hello. Thank you for being here. Hi, Mulatto Vanguard. And I wanted to kind of I wish he was here because it was really cool. We had a really long conversation with RGPT. I'm saying that wrong, but I had a really good conversation with him about like him, like he was breaking down the history of MGM people and all the different subgroups and everything. It was a really interesting conversation. So I really wish he could be here. But yeah, just wanted to first address oh my gosh, my kids. Every time I do a live, here come my kids wanting attention. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Luna,
It's
go
gonna
back in the
happen
house.
to me someday.
Sorry about that, guys. Let me get it
No
together.
worries.
Let me get it together.
It's gonna happen to me someday, so it's all good.
Exactly. All right. So let me go to my little notes that I had. So it was really cool. He was breaking down like the history of MGM. I wish he was here to speak on it because I don't think a lot of us like biracial people are aware of like the deep history in this country of like the MGMs and the different subgroups and stuff they are, like the Melian, the Lumbies, like the Red Bones, the
Also, like, there's also the term Sambo too,
the
which historically
Sambos.
meant somebody who was Black and Native American with a nuance of white ancestry to them as well. And I
Yep.
even have some history on that as well, so we
Yeah, I
can
would
definitely
love
talk
for
about
you
that.
to. Yeah, I want to go over the history because it was surprising to me. I was completely unaware of all these. So supposedly they don't go by these names no more. Some of them, just like how mulatto has kind of been antiquated. It's not really a name that a lot of mixed people of black white descent go by anymore. So it's like, but I really think these names are important so we can understand, so we could research them, so we could like learn more about the history of like MGMs and all the different subgroups that have broken off and done their own thing and actually done the same thing that people are doing in this space. And yeah, so I would love to like definitely make sure people are aware of that, of like us, especially us as biracials. We're not really aware because we come from, me like a first generational biracial person. I wasn't taught none of that or anything about like MGM and their history and nothing. So I think it's super like the Geechee, all of them. Like I think that is so interesting to learn about, so we could actually have some understanding with like the MGM people. And so they were the ones, like I watched Diana. She's an MGM. She's a light skinned MGM. She was the one saying that the MGM light skinned people are the ones who started this space. So she was like, we need to respect them. And there's a lot of beef there because a lot of biracial people, I think the difference is that like a lot of us are culturally white, and they're kind of like the guy was telling me, he's like, I'm uncomfortable with like biracial people because you sound white to me. You're culturally white. I'm not used to white people, and I don't really trust white people. So it's kind of like that's what he was saying to me, like you don't really trust biracial people because we're half white. And and the white people have historically disenfranchised and done a bunch of fucked up shit to like MGM people. So there's like that's like where the beef comes from, because she was saying that a lot of the biracial people who identify more with the white side, they could be racist and anti-black and just, you know what I'm saying. So that's where the beef comes from between like the biracial people who are half white. Of course there's biracial people, I don't think they have beef with like biracial people who are like Blasian or who are not mixed with white. But I think the beef is with the people who are half white, because there's like a historic atrocities that happened that it's like
So
a,
yeah,
yeah,
historical resentment is
it's like
where
a
all
historical
those
resentment.
hostile like sentiments are rooted in. That's true. So that's where I would just like to come in here and squash all of that,
Mm-hmm.
because regardless of whether there's beef that stems from historical resentment,
Mm-hmm.
we all still share some very similar worldly experience anyway. So I may be MGM, but my worldly experience is practically the same as somebody who's FGM. In other words, somebody such as you, which is which stands for first generationally mixed.
Mm-hmm.
When I hang out with other FGMs and we talk about stuff, and even recently I went out on a date with a mulatto girl who was purely FGM, and we talked about our experiences and everything, and she understood me and I understood her to the fullest extent. And this is coming from somebody who is MGM and her who's FGM. We still have some very similar experiences when it comes to being asked the question, well, what are you? Hey, are you this and that? Are you half this? Hey, have you ever faced times where you were treated like a social pariah from both sides? The answer to my question is yes, and likewise to hers too.
Yep.
So at the
There's
end
the
of the day,
similarities there. Yeah, we do have a
yes,
lot of in common.
it's
So that's
more,
what we need to
we're
focus
more,
on.
yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Now, there is, of course, nuances between us, but we're more similar than we are different.
I agree.
So,
Yeah.
whatever this little childish, pointless, immature beef that we are having stemming from historical resentment or just some stupid, trivial shit, to be honest,
Hmm.
get over it.
Let's
Act
get
like
over it.
grown men and adults.
That's what.
I
Yeah.
also just turned 30 years old and I do not have time for high school shenanigans. And
Right.
that's precisely what some people in our crowd are doing. So, guys, stop, because
Yes.
the world still sees you all as the same in terms
We're
of our worldly
mixed at the end of the
experiences.
day. Yeah. Okay. Hey,
Hey, R.
RTGP, thank you for being here. I'm so happy both of you guys are here because you guys have two like contrasting experiences. That's you guys are both MGM, but it's so cool. Like you guys have completely different experiences. So I wanted to I started off saying about the history of like MGM people, and you have a lot of knowledge about like, so I would like RTBG. Sorry, I get your name. I'm like dyslexic, sorry. But yeah, I would love
Yeah, everyone has a hard time saying that name. I don't know why. It's RTGP.
RTGP. Sorry, I'm always
RTGP.
messing up the letters.
Maybe
So
it's like an
yeah,
accent thing or
I
something.
just want to
Yeah,
address
no
like a
worries,
lot
man.
of the things. I just wanted to like address and come on here and like just
How long you guys
put.
been on here?
I just got here, so you're
Five
good. You
minutes.
just, yeah, like 5 minutes exactly.
Oh, because I'm
Others,
gonna leave.
Diana. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Oh yes. Oh shit. Oh,
Yeah,
not that.
thank you for being here. Yeah, we're trying to come together and explain, like, of course, like me and RTBG were saying, like, there is differences and there is like boundaries that we need to respect towards each other. You know what I'm saying? As long as we're coming together, because we do have a lot of similarities in how we could be allies. Like, of course we're different, but I think it was okay. Like the interesting point to me is like my like I'm a biracial person, I'm a first generational biracial person, but my descendants are going to be MGM basically, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I got to respect MGMs because my children's children, they're going to be MGM at the end of the day. It's just us, like this is like the start of an MGM bloodline, like a biracial person who different, it's like a start of an MGM bloodline. So I think that's
Yeah,
really interesting.
because
I would love for Diana to come up here. She's totally welcome up here because I watched your video about it and it was really interesting to me. And I really do want us to be able to, because you said, because Diana was saying that we need to separate that like too many biracial people are like white identified, and MGM people are usually like RTGP are culturally more black and they're more black identified, and they and there's like a clash there because like there's like a lot of racist talking points that a lot of like half white half black biracials have said in this space, and it's always going to clash because of course like MGMs are majority black, so it's like that needs to stop. We don't need to be on no hateful shit towards no race or nobody. So I would love for Diana to come up here and explain. I'm gonna put the link down there. I'm gonna post the link if she wants
Well,
to. Hi
I just
James, hi
consider
everybody.
myself
yeah,
like
what I was about to say, like really quickly, was that most people have a proclivity for their own.
Yep.
And people are going to want to get with somebody who can understand like that worldly experience to the full
Mm-hmm.
maximum. So
Yep.
like if your kids, end up wanting to find maybe somebody else who's also biracial or along the
Mm-hmm.
lines of being mixed because of just, life experiences, they're going to get with them, and then they're going to have kids who are like them, and then so on and so forth. And that in itself creates a multi-generational platform and a
Yep.
multi-generational future too.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Yep.
precisely is me, because that's what my family has done for the past 100 years. But
Yep.
we're still like genetically similar to you though, because if you see like my genetic line, I'm about like 1/8 Native American, but the rest is African and then European, and like I'm about 54% African. Then the rest is European and Choctaw Native.
It's interesting. Yeah, me and RTV, we were talking about like there's no like set like like we could look any type of way. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no there's no one specific phenotype of what like an MGM looks like or what like a biracial person. But it's like there's like a large spectrum of what we look like. So I think that's really interesting. Even though we are like phenotypically similar, we really are like like I was looking at shout out to Tuti. She has a channel. She has a new channel. She posted a really good video about like the racial identities of the African dysphoria, and she broke it down from monoracial to biracial to MGM to ethnic to multi-ethnic. She broke it all down. I think it was like we need that type of clarity so we could like not have no confusion in our space, so we're not sitting here like always confused about who's what and what's this. Like we need to have these type of categories and definitions so people could like feel comfortable in their identity, and then we could learn about each other's, because we're not all the same, of course. We don't all have the same experience, but we do have a lot in common, of course. But we still need to respect our differences and actually learn about each other and have respect for each other, so we're not so there's no tension or no beef there, because there's misunderstandings. Tension and beef, it always comes from misunderstanding, and that's why I want to do these lives and stuff, because communication is important, so we could that's what my channel is all about, just bringing more awareness and consciousness into like these like things that we don't know about. So MGM people are black, biracial people have parents of two different races. See, it's some people think. So, what do you guys agree with that? Do you think MGM people are black? Somebody said that.
No,
No,
because black is just a tribal name. It's like, so it doesn't really make sense to say that. But
right,
because there's not even race on birth certificate anymore. If you're black identified, I mean, you can technically be black and be white. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I see things through the lens of tribe more than like, just race and stuff.
So here was my question to like the MGM people.
I want to know about what's his name, Jojo R. Like,
George R.
Do you have blue eyes?
Yes.
Okay. See, when I see people with colored eyes, like especially like blue and stuff, like I associate that with Creoles. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily see them the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you guys see exactly. We're all like we all have differences, even in the MGM category, even in the biracial category. It's like we're all. So it's just cool. That's why I want us to all just be able to speak and respect our differences.
Black is essentially what people make it. So if people are coming out saying these people are no longer black, then that's just what the fuck it is. The same thing with like FBA coming out talking about, all right, these foreign blacks are no longer us. You know what I'm saying? So that's like a tribal thing. I see things
it's a tribal,
more like a tribal than just race based.
I like what you said about subgroups. Like we are like all these different subgroups of us. Like if you're Blasian, if you're mulatto, if you're Asian, if you're mestizo, these are all like MGM. These are all different subgroups. And then in those subgroups, there's subgroups. So it's like it just continues on forever. So it's like it's so cool to learn about. Like this is a whole new because it's stepping outside of the box. It's like there's not just black, white, Asian, native. It's like there's subgroups within all of those different things that people fall under. So it's really interesting.
And he's drawing a broad brush when he says like MGM is black, when you don't even like, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to even know for sure. It's like me calling all white people just white when they're like
there's a different Italians, subgroups.
Spanish, Cuban, you know what I mean? Like white Latino, white Arab, and sometimes they mix.
Hey, Articles United. Hey, girl.
So that's like a limited view of things. Like if you just
it's limited, we got to expand our view
on everything. Like the conversation gets very short, and like this is why I have a hard time like have a conversation in this space, because it's too short and limited. Like y'all just in a broad brush, and that's just that's where the conversation ends. It doesn't get more intricate and detailed.
It was get more into it. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to expand our view of like how we view ourselves. How a lot of it we can't just there's not only mixed black, white, biracials. Like that's not the only, focus. We should focus on all the different racial categories and different and have light in it and have some knowledge of understanding.
Biracial is not just black and white. It's like black and Asian, black and Arab.
There's
black
a lot,
and Indian,
and I
Eurasian, because like
black and 1,000 other things, right?
Yeah, because like my brother's like ex-girlfriend was a
Hi,
Pure
Diana.
bread.
Welcome.
Oh, hey, Diana.
So,
Thank you for
oh,
being here. I appreciate
hey,
you. Thank
hey,
you.
Hey,
y'all.
welcome aboard.
Hello.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome. Hi. Thank you. Okay. So I
Hey,
have.
it's so much voice going on. Hey, y'all.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear us all?
Yeah, my voice is echoing on these headsets. I think it's my headsets.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see. Is somebody else trying to come up here? Okay, there we go. I'm happy. So thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for being here. Yeah. So I'm just trying to I liked your I watched your interview and I really liked it. I'm like this important. We need to talk about this. You know, I definitely do feel like we should respect like MGM people. Us as a biracial person, like respecting the MGM that created this space. So my question, you know, I asked this question to RTB. So why did cuz I can understand like biracial people. People are like, "Oh, you're definitely if you have a non-black parent, then you're not black." You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense for us to differentiate and try to do our own identity thing. But as like a MGM, when it's like you're mostly are you like culturally black? You're raised in black culture completely. Like all of your family's black.
Um,
You don't have like a direct white parent. It's like
well,
from
that's not
generations back.
necessarily true. Like I have a lot of mixed people in my family too, like of just varying different mixes and stuff.
Yeah, true.
It's a real
But
thing.
it was like
So,
what made like MGM light skinned people want to create this space to like differentiate themselves like from just the monoracial black people. So what
I,
was that like people getting hate for being light skinned or
well, again, like
what was it?
I'm more tribe based, so like whoever started this space, like really doesn't have much to do with me because I don't,
Hmm.
I'm from like a faraway
It's
state
about oh yeah,
where
that's for like
politics,
Diana. I'm really like
yeah,
speaking on because Diana was the one that said that
yeah, because I was saying
MGM
that Texas people are the ones who really like started this space. If you ask me, like,
Texas people.
yeah, they're deep in this space. So like, it's only like
Yeah, there is a lot of Texas people. There's a lot of Southern people in this space for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. That's I feel like it's more y'all situation. Like we just move different in the Midwest, but like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like because I know
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
my
Bronx
mom
is
is
more
from
like
Mississippi,
hostile,
so
like towards like the preference thing down there. It's a little bit more awkward than the South. Like a lot of
It's
y'all niggas from
different.
the Midwest, yeah, it's different. So I can't really identify with that, but I am learning from it, right?
Definitely. So you're learning about different MGM groups too. You know what I'm saying? We're all sitting here
I
kind of, you
I
know.
started learning probably like 10 years ago because when I was in college, I went to like this phrase of want to know about my ancestry because I was told I was black with some
Mm-hmm.
Native American ancestry all my life, and I had
Mm-hmm.
issues with it. And my family only identified with the black side, so I kind of rebelled against my family. Like, forget this. Y'all know, like, I found out I was technically mixed, and I'm like, I ain't gonna be denial no more about this.
I
Like,
love that. I love
so
it.
I started to embrace it, and then I took my DNA test 2015 and found out most of my so-called Native American DNA was mostly European,
Mm-hmm.
Mediterranean European. So I had to go do another culture shock because I was more like, okay, I team up the black and the Native American side since the colonizers did our people wrong. We da 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 da. So it took me time. It took me a long time to accept the European heritage. So like as MGMs, we have to fight. It's like, okay, like biracials, y'all knew y'all was mixed since y'all
So
were
like
4 or 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, people, MGMs, we've been gaslighted by family members who are biracial or MGMs
Mm-hmm.
that are ashamed of their mixed ancestry. Like they
Exactly.
don't like to talk about
They
it.
don't
Like
like it. Yeah,
they
because
don't
it's
like
like
to talk about it.
the results of like rape from like generations back, and so it's like something to be ashamed of. So I
Yeah,
think that's why
to
so
be
that
quite
yeah.
So it's different. So when somebody say you just want to be biracial, you wish you had white blood. It's extremely insulting because we fought
Mm-hmm.
very hard just to accept our non-black admixture because we
Exactly.
were so conditioned that we was only black, but in the back of our minds we knew that we were not just black. We was more than
Mm-hmm.
black. But we was shut down and silenced by our own family members not to claim that due
Mm.
to bad reasons. So
Yeah.
so it's like because it's just like when you learn American history, I'm gonna try and keep it short. Learning
Mm-hmm.
American history is very traumatizing,
Yes.
and
Very.
especially what I'm not blaming modern day white folks. I'm not saying white folks should be suffering for what their ancestors decided to do. I'm not saying none of that, but learn about the history is so traumatizing.
Yep.
So when you find out you possibly mix, you be like, oh, I hope if this is this like down is this generational. I hope I'm not mixed with that. You know what I mean? Because it had a bad connotation. Like, and then my family members like, why would I want to identify with something that oppress all these groups
Exactly.
in the world? So it's just
Yeah.
it's very hard. So when as MGM, since our stuff is generational, we have to fight to accept the non-black in a sense.
Right.
It's supposed to be something,
Shameful.
bad. Yeah.
Hmm. So I love that. So it's all about just accepting who you are and accepting. I love that. So that was like kind of the movement. Instead of sitting here being ashamed and feeling bad about what happened, you could sit here and actually choose to love yourself, even if there's always positive you could find in a negative situation. Because yes, it was horrible and negative. Yeah, I've been through that too. I used to be very pro-black. I used to be very anti-white. I used to hate my white side. I could definitely relate to that a lot. And it took me a long time to learn how to accept and love who I am. I got my biracial wake up call, when people are like, oh, you're not black. So it's like, I can't really be a part of the community that I identified with. So it's like, I had to find my own lane and had to find and had to just find acceptance and peace within myself. So I definitely feel like we have that in common, like fighting hard to accept like who you are. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, maybe we did it about different ways, because as a biracial person, more people are like, oh, you're not black, you're not biracial. So it's like I had to accept that through that. But I love that's what this space should be about, though, just us loving ourselves
Well, I think the
and not
issue
being
is like
ashamed of ourselves.
I think another issue like with this is like it doesn't even matter what labels people put on stuff. In my personal opinion, like,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they call you not black, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of y'all go like overstep your boundaries when it comes to like I guess the phenotype, right? So they're just letting you
Right.
know like there's still a line between us and you. You feel me? Like I think that's really what
There's
that's about.
boundaries. I think we should respect
Yeah,
boundaries.
because like white
I
people
wouldn't
do
want
the
to.
same thing, like white Southerners, white Northerners, like you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you call yourself whatever you want, black, or whatever, but there's still
Mm-hmm.
lines between cultural boundaries and stuff. Like cultures are still
Mm-hmm.
here in this country, like regardless, right?
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely got different cultures. That was kind of the beef with like the MGM and like the biracials, because some of them were more raised in white culture, so they couldn't understand like black culture. And a lot of MGMs are mostly raised in like even Georgia's different though. Georgia was more raised, so he's like has an opposite experience of you and Diana. He was more raised in like white culture, I think, because he was on the
Yeah.
kind of more of So
Well, I lived
yeah,
in variety places, so I'm a little bit different, but yeah, black culture, definitely a big part and all that.
definitely. Like the
Yeah,
cultural clashes of like the biracial people who were I was raised in both, and I understand both sides. I was raised in white culture and I was raised in, so I
'Cause
understand both sides. I
Michigan
think
is
that's
like
important for biracial people. They need to
majority
understand
non-black.
both.
Like the South has way more like black people overall, so that's like the biggest difference. Like Michigan is
Yes,
majority
that's where
non-black,
that's
so
where
like
I was in Atlanta for 10 years. So yeah.
yeah. I've been
Mhm.
in the South for 13 years, so I already know. But I'm saying like when you from a place like Michigan, it's a little bit different because it's majority non-black.
So do you guys feel like, okay, so that's the problem, like a lot of like biracial people, it's like a lot of them are overly identified with one side. Either it be they go hard, super hard, and be super extra pro black, or they go hard and be pro white. Or I think us, like, if we want to get along as like MGM and biracial people, us biracial people, we need to definitely drop that and stop always having to pick a side. You know what I'm saying? And just accept us for who we are. And then we could, like, just love ourselves. And you can't love nobody else until you love yourself, right? So there's so much like hate in this space towards whoever. But I think it all comes down to like self-love. Like if you just learn how to love and be peace and accept yourself, then you could do that. You could treat other people with the same love and respect. So there's no freaking conflict and tension and hate, because where there's a little differences there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
It kind of goes back to what I said in our previous stream in regards to how it becomes very cringe when you're starting to white knight for other people
it's
who
cringe.
you are
Yeah.
caring like you're basically caring more about them than they even care about themselves. So how exactly is that going to compute? And
Right.
then like I said in the earlier streams, is that when it comes down to our worldly experiences, apart from like the nuances between MGM and FGM, we're still more similar than different. Because hey, I've met and, like I've said, spoken to many FGMs, and they are always asked what they are or what are you, just like the very common questions that a typical mixie is going to get. Well, almost every day at work, people are likewise wondering what I am too. I even
Right.
had a family from Spain and Italy ask me like, "Hey, where are your family? Where's your parents from? Where are they from? Hey, what are you though?" I get the same thing that you would get to Priscilla as an FGM woman. So
Yo, they're making
exactly,
a good point in the comments. People are like, they don't use MGM in like real life. Like this is just an
they
online
don't.
term.
Yeah, we
Nobody
don't
uses that
use that.
term in like real
It
life.
is.
Would you ever?
It
Would you ever
is.
use it in real life? Like, would you ever be like, I'm
I'm
MGM?
not
I'm a
going to use
multi.
that.
I would never
Nope.
use it.
I'm
I
not
would never.
using that.
I
I
would
just
never
say
use
I'm
it.
just mixed. That's
Realistically,
just
I don't.
It's
I don't
it's
like.
a it's online. It's not really.
Yeah,
I
It's a
wouldn't.
good
because
I don't
black
term.
like
people will be
people who
confused.
are too identified, like identity
F.
identified. Like, I don't really like associate too much with those types. So like, I don't focus too much on the like
You
labels
don't
and
really
stuff.
focus too much on
I
that.
don't
Yeah,
either.
Yeah, I
I
don't
just
focus
say
on
I'll
labels.
just tell people what I am. I'll break it down
Like
in the
it is
simplest
what
terms,
it
and
is.
that's it.
Take it how you see it. You know what I mean? Like you
Mm-hmm.
want to call me light skinned, black, Chinese, Arab. I really don't care. You know what I mean?
I love what EU said. She said, and I feel like this space isn't supposed to be about distancing ourselves from blackness or looking down on it. We're just about bracing all of our period. That's what this space needs to be
Um,
about. I like
I,
that.
I'm just saying that like as mixed people in general and light skinned blacks, I'm including them too. We already
Mhm.
went through a lot of trauma for simply existing, right? It's simply, being something that we did not choose to be, right? So, we all probably been crucified not being black enough or being too black or etc. If we come into space to talk about our experience and trying to heal for what we went through, why re-traumatize people by criticizing their blackness or their whiteness in them and chastising them for the cultures they was raised in that's happened to be monoracial. Like we chose to only grew up with in black culture. And when people attack the only culture that you've been, just attacking a person for claiming the only culture that they know, you making look bad on the people that is biculture or multiculture.
Yep, I
Like now
agree.
you making us be like, okay, I'm glad. Oh, that's how biculturally people act. I'm glad I'm not biculturally. You know what I mean? So it
Right.
makes
Yeah.
biculturally people look bad, and me saying it don't make me pro-black or anything like that, but don't crucify me for try to look. I do love
Yeah.
being
Love
mixed. Don't
both.
get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I do love being a mixed person, but don't crucify me loving the only culture that I was raised in. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. As a biracial person, yeah, definitely. But okay, as a biracial person, here's what like a lot of biracial people do. I think they get carried away with it. But we do like to criticize both sides. I think some people go harder on like the black side or some people go harder on like the white side. So we do like to like cuz it's like we're a fly on the wall cuz we're not really like fully in like either culture, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I think we
Yeah,
do
like
like to criticize both sides, but I don't think it needs to come from if we do have like some criticism or something towards like black culture or a criticism towards white culture, it's toxic if it's coming from like a place of hate or you just like really like if you're trying to separate yourself because I don't think we can't separate ourselves like we don't live in a vacuum like we're connected to these cultures, we're connected to the people of these cultures because we're half and half, right? We can't change our DNA or nothing like that. So as a like biracial person, we do need to love and respect both sides, and if we do have some criticism, then I think it should come from a place of like love. Like we want to see people of our cultures better and not like sit here and bash them for being how they are. There's a difference, you know what I'm saying? Because even people in black culture who are 100% monoracial, they criticize things about the culture. But I think if it's coming from a place of self-hate, then it's always going to be like you're trying to escape it. Like how like there's a lot of like black conservatives that are very like anti, they just want to separate themselves, they don't want to have nothing to do. But I don't know, I'm more about like just loving our heritage, like loving who we are, and you know what I'm saying? So I think I'm all about healing. I love what you said about trying to heal from your. This is what this is what I wanted to do with my platform. Like, have a space of healing from that. You know what I'm saying? Healing from like the feeling from like the toxic criticism. I think there's a difference when somebody is just trying to break you down, trying to make you feel bad, trying to kill your self-esteem, trying to make you feel horrible about yourself. There's that, like that's toxic. But I think there is like a constructive criticism when you're trying to help somebody out, you really love them, you want to see them do better. So it's like we got to be careful about like what are we saying like to people, you know what I'm saying? And toxic criticism, and when you're trying to criticize somebody about something they can't change, like you can't change the fact that you're light skinned or that you have some European DNA. Like if somebody try to criticize you about that, then you can't change that. There's nothing you could do to change that. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So it's
yeah,
something we need to
that's
heal from. Yeah.
Frankly, that's why in the real world, apart from the internet, I live a very normal life.
Me too. I'm a regular,
Like, yeah,
degular.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I'm asked like what I am almost every day, but other than that, I don't have any racial trauma stemming from historical wrongs or the sins of America.
I did.
I I don't think I really ever really did. It's
I
just
did.
what I was doing at that time was just hopping on these bandwagons for the sake of chasing clout and resources, and just trying to see how I can become popular in whatever chosen community I am in, without really even caring much about what really happened as far as racial trauma goes from a historical standpoint, because I just always felt unaffected by that, just due to the normalcy I've always had throughout my life.
I've definitely dealt with like the genetic racial trauma of it, because it's hard. Like as a biracial person, when you're stuck between two different cultures that have such a horrible history with each other, and like the white side being so abusive and brutal and oppressive towards like my black side, and then that's definitely affected me a lot. It's caused a lot of internal conflict that I had to heal from, and I definitely made me like a self-hater at the same point, because I said I didn't like my white side, but I had to heal from that. I had to overcome that. It's been, yeah, because I was definitely like Diana said, learning about the history is super traumatizing. Like the horrible history of it, super traumatizing. And like
Exactly.
me finding like a place of forgiveness, because on both sides, because I dealt with it, like for me personally, as like a biracial person, like half of my white side, like some generations back, they owned slaves, right? And then on my black side, some generations that they were slaves. So it's like hard coming to like grips with that, and it's
Well,
hard
I
to like
personally always felt like this was kind of like more of a biracial issue.
that's a
And
biracial
like
issue. Yeah, that's
no, like
definitely,
I'm talking about the
yeah.
overall, the whole space, the whole point of the space. I always felt like kind of like a more biracial sort of issue because it's like what I'm
I
saying,
thought
light
it
skins
was
are
too.
light. Yeah, because
I
people
thought it
saying it
was.
started by light skins, like that's when it keeps getting confusing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
but
like this seems more like a biracial issue. Because if light skins are black, then it's like
I feel like
yeah.
that's why I was kind of surprised to find out that like this space, like the whole Golden Sphere space, was started by light skinned MGM people. It wasn't started by like biracial people, even though biracial people, we do have like a lot of issues and we're not really welcome in the community. So it was surprising to me to find out that you know how this space started.
The reason why I say a separation, because I feel like there haven't been no strong boundaries has been placed to respect all mixed people in this space, and even
Right.
light skinned blacks. So I'm just like, if people boundaries are not going to be respected, or people ain't gonna shut some people down for saying whether it's anti-white or anti-black stuff regarding somebody racial makeup, or somebody, or mock somebody culture that they was brought up in, then there need to be a separation.
I definitely feel like boundaries, and that's the whole point. Me and yeah, boundaries definitely need to be
It's
respected. Like
it's not
that's
that it's not that oh I'm anti-biracial. I'm definitely not anti-biracial. My mother was half black and she fought for me to live. She almost died. Like I almost died at birth. So she fought very hard for me to live. So I'm not gonna be against my mother, you know what I mean? But I just feel like boundaries need to be respected. You can't, criticize. I'm just saying you can't criticize black people and talk about the traumas black people put you through. But you come around, you come in this space and putting other mixed people and light skinned blacks do trauma. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, make it make sense. Like
that makes a lot
you
of
know,
sense. We're doing this. It's like the hurt people cycle. It's like the same vicious cycle. Instead of healing, you're trying to hurt other people
mm,
instead of trying to heal from your
yeah.
And
Hmm.
I would like to also ask this question though. It says, since I really love history and I've studied it, and I even have like a library here in my room, how exactly can people, all groups in this country, which really aren't all saints at all, how could they all like reconcile and take collective responsibility for a lot of the wrongs that they've partaken into? So yes, we know that a lot of the focus is directed towards whites because people want to say, well, look at the power imbalances and everything else. Well, what about the fact that by 1860 the Cherokee Nation had up to 4,600 black slaves? Or what about how 1/3 of blacks and mulattoes became commercial slave owners down in the Louisiana area? and how they were very much in on it. Or how about the Chickasaw tribe in Florida even partnered up with white slaves to go after their fugitive slaves? All that stuff took place during the 18th and 19th century. And as they say, two wrongs are not exactly making a right. And when people say, well, you're just choosing the lesser of the two evils, well, it still is choosing evil and it still is doing evil. So since none of us here are really saints from a historical standpoint, how do we reconcile all that? How do we say, yeah, we took part in the wrong too, and so did you, and so did you? Just no one wants to take responsibility. But as soon as we do, that could serve as a huge, powerful mechanism for healing.
I
as far
love
as
that.
racial
That's
I
a
trauma
great
agree.
goes.
question. That's a great
I
question.
agree. And as a I'm supposed to go to a Baha'i meeting at 8, and as a Baha'i, we are cares to have discussions like this to heal spiritually. Cause I feel like a lot of the issues in the world, social issues, political issues, all of it is bound down to spiritual warfare. And unfortunately in history, every racial group and ethnic group, they always highlighted the sociopath in the group or the narcissist in that group doing something or oppressing somebody else. And that can deframe the whole ethnicity and the whole culture, which is not right. You know what I mean? Like the whole culture getting blamed for what minority of individuals did. You know what I mean? So I just think we just need to educate ourselves about each other and talk to each other. And I think we can start from there.
I absolutely agree with
Exactly.
everything you said, Diana. You summed it up really perfectly. Like everything you
Amen,
said. I
Diana.
love
Thank
it.
you.
Yep. It's about learning our history, like a lot of people cherry pick history. They only want to like view the history that makes them look good or makes them feel good about themselves. But it's like we got to be honest about
Exactly.
like all
The
of our
internet is
history.
free. All right.
Nobody's innocent. Like I feel like nobody's innocent. Nobody's 100% innocent. No group is. So it's like we got to just be honest and be aware. And like you said, education is everything. Like educating yourself about even the mulatto groups. We're not innocent. We're not sitting here like we've done some messed up things too. You're not innocent in this. So we just all gotta take responsibility to educate ourselves and be aware. And none of us have a moral high ground in this. Okay, none of us are morally superior to each other. We're all equal in this space. You know what I'm saying? It's all about us, finding forgiveness for the wrongs that were done to us. Like forgiveness is so important. I love what you said about the spiritual healing. Like I'm so big on that. Like my spiritual path has helped me a lot to find forgiveness and find peace with myself. And being able to what's that saying, Jesus? Like you're a Christian, right, Georgia? Forgive others like you would want people to forgive you, right? And
Yes,
that's
it's
the
like
best we
you
could do,
you you
right?
ask the Lord for forgiveness. So before the Lord can do that, you have to forgive others for whatever their trespasses were against you.
Oh yeah,
And
and
if you
Diana,
don't
you're
do it, then you're
Baha'i.
being a hypocrite.
And Diana's a Baha'i. I have a friend that was Baha'i. He was really cool. Like he was all about us coming together and doing. It's about oneness, all about people coming together and like
I'm glad somebody knows about it. Thank God.
I love educating myself about like spiritual paths
And
and yeah.
I converted, about to be 3 years ago after my mom passed away for cancer. She finna be gone for 3 years, and I found the Baha'i religion. I loved it, but I almost became depressed when the pandemic hit, because it's like they such loving, positive people, and I just love being around the Baha'is.
Absolutely. I love the religion. I've researched it. I think it's very beautiful. I was thinking about converting to Baha'i because I'm all about oneness. I like loving, respecting all people, all cultures. I love doing that. I love learning about all people as humans, as humanity, and respect it. But also at the same, we gotta respect boundaries, like you said. You know what I'm saying? We can't sit here and bash people for who they are. We gotta respect each other's boundaries and
Especially stuff the people did not choose. I didn't choose my accent. I found that I found that I was diagnosed with tongue tie too. I have no control over that, so I shouldn't be attacked over things I cannot control. But if I feel like if I'm attacked on things I cannot control, I had a right to attack you back. Even
right.
though it's not right, but like Mulatto Vanguard, I don't know you, bro, but you just attack me based on what other people said about me instead of you being direct and get to know me. Like
Can I
you
say
assume
something?
that he assumed I was just pro black, like just pro black militant, and I never been pro black.
Mulatto, you're very welcome to come on here. I love your accent.
So like,
I love your
I
southern
always
accent.
felt like
And I would take the videos down. You know, I would take the videos down that I roast you a little bit or whatever like that. I'd take it down, but I didn't like how you just came at me hard of
You're
insulting
welcome.
me, saying I sound dumb and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, bro, I don't even know
Mulatto.
you.
Mulatto Vega, you're definitely welcome up here. If y'all want to talk to each
Wait,
other
so
and
like
have a civil conversation, try
this,
to get to know each other. That'd be
this is a
great
serious
if you want to.
question though. So like, if a lot of black dudes keep having biracial kids, then and you guys aren't black, do you procreate with black people, or you just go with biracial people?
I don't try to police what people do and who they date or nothing.
So
So
like,
me,
with the biracial child with the black man, would it be black or would it be biracial?
I consider
Or
them still mixed.
so it would be
MGM.
mixed.
Yeah, I consider them
MGM
mixed
or light
MGM.
skin, or like, because a lot of light skins are essentially products of like that, like a biracial getting with like
Yeah,
a
that's what I said in
black
the
guy.
beginning because
You know,
we were
a
talking about
lot of
that.
these, yeah, a lot of this doesn't even make any sense, honestly. But yeah,
No, because the biracial people were like a start of an MGM bloodline, basically. You know,
so
that's what I
like
was saying. Like my kids are
you
going to be
think with
considered
MGM,
MGM.
like
Yeah.
you can essentially like, yeah, they're both essentially both are
Thank you,
synonymous, right?
Foster.
So
Thank you, Foster, for the
you know what I mean? If
comment.
you
I'm
want to
sorry,
part
y'all.
ways, then you couldn't do it without those groups. You know what I'm saying?
But I think
Essentially.
we're trying to take it back to what this space was originally for. Is about. I don't think it's about separating. I don't want to separate myself really. I want to embrace both sides of myself and actually like loving both sides of my heritage. And I think that's what we should be about. You know what I'm
So
saying?
who the
I think
most
that's what
biracial
was.
people
My
date?
heritage is not
Who the
white
most biracial?
people.
Since we got a lot of biracials in the chat, who the most biracial people date? If since you're not black, right?
I'm biracial. Just found that out.
Me
I
and James
always
are
thought
both
that they dated
biracial.
either white
We
or
both
black
have
people.
me and James are both biracial, married to biracial people. So we're both biracial people married to other mixed people. So that's just us.
Do
Technically,
most
technically
biracials
speaking, though,
date
you can say that
biracial?
I'm triracial, though.
Yeah, you can technically say I'm quadracial, but like, do most biracials date biracials? Like that's the question. Like, 'cause if you want to be separate,
Sometimes,
you have to date each other, right?
sometimes
I
they do,
mean,
man, but sometimes they don't, though, because even in my Facebook group, there is
Yeah,
a
there's a lot
girl
of
in there.
most of them just date randomly. They date all over the place.
yeah, like
Yeah,
how hypocritical would that be of us if we sit here and be like, oh, we can
And
only date
that
biracial
person,
people if I don't think we
and
could
that person
do that.
who was talking about me in the chat. I don't know you, and I don't want to know you. You look like a spam troll.
Who are you talking about? I gotta block somebody. Who are you talking about?
Who's somebody named
I love your
Lashir?
accent. I love your accent too. You're like Texas. I love it.
It's somebody
Yeah.
named Lashir.
Oh, I blocked the person who was like scam. I blocked them. Don't worry about them. But like I was saying,
I
Hello.
blocked
biracial
after chat
people,
just now. I don't like trolls.
I said
Like,
we date all over. Yeah, exactly. Because how hypocritical would that be of us? Because we're a product of two different races. We can't sit here and be like, oh, we can only date people of my race when our parents are product. They came together and created us, and they weren't supposed to. We got a lot of backlash. That's very common for like the families feeling some type of way about it. Miscegenation was illegal in this country until 1960 something. I think 1969, 1967. Thank you.
67. At least interracial marriage to up until like the Loving v. Virginia case.
Exactly. So it's been a taboo thing. So I don't feel like I could sit here and police who people date. Like find happiness, find love.
But you can't be like a distinct group if you don't have that distinct like group. You know what I mean? Just random biracial all over the place. Like
that's how it is. I mean, I don't know. That's how it is. That we're coming together on the internet.
But like,
trying
if
to talk
you want
about
to be,
things.
like,
But
if
in real
you want to
life,
be separate, you have to like date a certain type of way. Like, you know what I'm saying? How could you be separate if you date white people?
In real
or black
life,
people?
look, in real life,
Right?
in real life, I don't really even know any other biracial people. I'm not in proximity to them.
Miranda Squirrel.
I wish like it would be great. It's hypocritical to be against swirling. We're the product of swirling. Exactly. So I don't know. I think if people want to do that, if they choose,
if people don't care if people date, then what's the point of the movement? Like, up to the people in the chat.
I think most people should date each other. I think we should promote it. Like exactly. Like I think we should promote it more because I feel like people are against it. You know how people like try to bash like two light-skinned people coming together. They look like brother and sister, and they try to promote like us being absorbed into either being white. So I think we should promote it more, but it's up to people's choice. We shouldn't sit here and shame people if they don't choose that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't believe in like trying to shame people for who they choose to
Hey,
love and who they choose to
explain
date.
the point of the movement. Then explain the point. Like you want a distinction and a separation from groups who don't like you. Okay, explain the purpose behind it.
No, I've kind of
I
changed my
think
stance on. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Not you. I'm talking to
bro.
people in the
So
chat.
I
People in
think
the
that
chat.
it kind of more so boils down to getting us to get other people to recognize us as those who have a distinct identity. But yes, we can't exactly police who we date and who we end up doing whatever with behind closed doors. But it kind of more so boils down to the fact that we do have a distinct identity, and we should actually have like a label for us though in the Census Bureau. I think that's what all that stuff narrows down to. But yes, I would like to be completely separate from Black community or white community in terms of how they may monoracially identify themselves, but I would rather be identified as a mixie, as the vast majority of this world perceives me as. I think that's basically like the other purpose of this movement. But then again, I see what you're saying there is that would it basically be more ideal to get with somebody who's like myself? I would love to.
Because otherwise,
That's why I went out on a date like earlier last month with a mulatto woman, and it was amazing and beautiful. We had so much shared experiences and a lot of things in common. So I think RT, is that what you're trying to aim for? Because I would love for something like that to come to fruition. But at all, I mean, as a Christian,
I'm just trying to get to the root of everything.
Yes, but as a Christian, it all depends on who the Lord feels will be right for me in my life. But if I were to get with a white woman or a Hispanic woman or an Asian woman, though, I'll just let her know is that, I have a very distinct identity and a distinct experience. Would you be willing to vouch for that and support it and even get it nationally recognized even by the mainstream and the broad public? Because that is essentially the purpose of my movement.
You guys said we can't have our own country.
It wouldn't take hundreds of years. It can happen in like a.
Do you guys agree with this? The Future is Golden says MGMs are the future of this movement. You can't rely on the swirlers. It's kind of
realistically, this is a response into the what's coming from the darker skin side. So this whole space is just a organic response to that.
People not really wanting to accept us and
those spaces. We should have our own. You think we should have our own country? I'm working on that.
Shoot, if you can fight for it.
I'm trying to save up. I'm trying to save up a lot of money so I can help the land to build us our own country.
Your racial identity. My thing is, even like a mulatto Puerto Rican, I always consider that person just Puerto Rican. I never consider them Black or anything other than just Puerto Rican. Just they look culturally and all that. So it's kind of like that's what I thought
you
it
go
was.
by phenotype. You just
no. I'm not just phenotype, but culture too. Like
culture.
if you have Black American and you like half Puerto Rican, I just assumed you were Puerto Rican or something. I didn't really, So it's kind of like it's kind of a confusing thing, like who identifies with who, right?
So I agree with the Future's Golden. They are the future of this movie. That's why we gotta respect MGM people. Hazel, thank you. I was just thinking about you. So I want to bring this up. Yeah, I think you brought up the selective. I wanted to talk about that. The selective, because you were saying how selective breeding created a lot of MGM groups that were already here and already established for hundreds of years in this country. So I'm like, is that what we're doing right now? Like the selective, if somebody does choose to participate in that, there should be
doing this for a long time.
So maybe that should be respected. If somebody does want to participate in selective breeding or whatever, they got their right to do so. But you can't try to force that on other people. We shouldn't try to sit here and shame people if they don't want to participate in that. If they do want to choose to date
Black love all the time. I think it should be promoted. Like if anything, because otherwise this movement's not gonna go nowhere. But it should be promoted, soft core.
We should promote it, but not hardcore.
Not hardcore. You don't have to be wearing that on your sleeve. Hey, date them or you're gonna die.
Hello, Diana.
Hey, James, Mel, how you doing? It got quiet.
Hello.
Hello.
It's awkward silence.
Yeah, I said hi back to him. It just got super
reading
quiet.
my notes. No, I'm reading my notes right now.
Okay, Mulatto Vanguard. When I say Black is my cultural identity, I'm just saying that's the only culture I was raised in. I think even though I'm genetically mixed, I feel like it be disgenuine if I say I'm culturally mixed and I only been exposed to one culture.
My
That's why.
culture is mixed. I am mixed American.
So
Well,
It means
when I
mixed race
say
American.
when I say I'm culturally black, I'm not denouncing like my mixedness or my genetics at all. I feel like I'll be disingenuous to say I'm culturally mixed and I only was raised with one culture. You know what I mean? Like some of y'all up here might been raised with one or two or three cultures. So I see that's culturally mixed. Y'all probably more culturally mixed than I am. So Mulatto Vanguard, that's what I was saying. So when I say I'm culturally black, I was not saying I'm pro black. I'm just saying that was the only culture I was brought up in.
Nope.
Then you get what
I
I'm
wish you could
saying?
come up here. Come up. I would love
I
to
don't
see
know
you
what
come up
his
here,
issue with
Mulatto.
me. I don't know why this dude has
We
smoke
gotta
for me.
communicate.
I
Let's
don't
communicate. Let's
understand
talk it
it.
out. We're grown people. We're adults. We can all
Wait, which dude got smoke
communicate
with
and talk.
you?
Right.
Mulatto
What's
Van
that?
Gogh has spoke for me,
Oh,
and then he insulted me.
he
So I
he
said he
militant.
looked. So I said he looked like a meerkat. So like I said, okay, since you gonna roast me, I roast you back. So I'm just like this dude just carried out of blue attacking me, and I guess
Yeah,
because I have issues with certain individual in the Golden Spear, and
and
I
you do
just
look
feel like, and
you
he
do look
felt
like
like
America.
I guess he went by word of mouth and took their side without even get to know me or talk to me.
That happens a lot in this space. That happens a lot. People will freaking choose sides and
I
click up, and
Yeah,
that happens a
You
lot.
can't hold on.
I
You
only had
can't help
one
who you
problem
mix
with
with.
one person in that space, and
That
everybody and
happens
their
a lot.
mama, all these newcomers just want to attack me. I'm like, y'all don't even know
Okay.
me. Like,
Yeah, that
God.
happens a lot. People like clicked up and like try to. Yeah.
I think it's from Lashid.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Why y'all keep on trying to? Me and Lashid is cool. Why y'all keep on trying to make me pick a side? Is y'all gonna get
Yeah. Let's
okay?
not do that. Let's not do that.
Is y'all gonna give me somewhere to stay? Cause I'm loyal to the person I stay with, and I'm loyal to my family. That's who I'm loyal to. Is y'all gonna
You
pay? Is
sound like
y'all
a
gonna give
Black
me rent
Panther.
money?
That's what kind of
Oh,
turned me
I
off
do.
about this
I do.
space a long time ago. People
Who
always trying
sound like a
to.
Black Panther?
What is she?
Oh.
Yeah, she sounds like she got that
sorry about that.
real like old school voice, like from like them back in the day activists.
Jake. Okay, let me read these comments real quick. Look, I think these Futures Golden and Exoticals United made a good point about selective breeding is actively being discouraged on both sides, so that makes it difficult to build exactly. I think that's a great point. And Exoticals United said, "We are not the dating police. I encourage MSL people to get together, but if they don't, we can't control them." I think they both make really good
We
points
already
about
have a
that.
lot. We already have
Hazel
a lot.
Green, I'm not talking about you, Mama. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about is these newcomers out of the blue. I left that space like 3 months ago. They just out of the blue attacking me, like
We are
because
a family. Aw,
they
look.
trying to show they down. They just trying to show they down with GT and whoever, but don't even know me. Like, do your research. You don't know
The
me. Why
brownie
are you
babe
tagging
said,
me?
don't let her come up."
MSL said, "How do you have a race? Most people are dating out." That's true. It's a good point. You guys are making great points. Okay. Uh, who said that somebody's tired of hearing about dating? These are some fin cells. Okay. It says, "I think we have different experiences. One person experience doesn't invalidate another." Period. Mulatto Vanguard, please come up here. I want you guys to talk about it. Like, let's talk about like what's the beef here. This is the whole point of the
I don't
stream.
know. I don't
That's
know.
the whole
I don't
point of
know.
the
I don't
stream.
know.
Vanguard,
This
I
guy
don't
got beef
know.
with me, and I'm so
Let's talk
confused
about it.
why.
That's the whole point of the stream, so we could talk about like what's the beef, like what are we
Yeah, I
doing
mean,
to
I
like
don't
I
know
because
what
respect,
his
we're trying to
beef.
bring
I like
clarity.
and respect you too. So it'll be great to have you on,
I
brother.
don't
Hey, man, come
know.
on up,
We
brother.
don't. Yeah, please come on up. I would love for you to come up here
I
and we
don't
could
know
talk
what
about
his
things.
issue
hey,
Yes,
we
is.
giving out free smoke. Pull up.
let's communicate. Like I like let's do it. Like let's talk it
Shorty
out.
got smoke for me for real. I don't even know why.
Let's
He
yeah.
he act like I scammed him or something. Like he just got. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I think
anyways,
he likes you.
Hello.
I doubt
yeah,
it.
I want to know.
I
I
doubt
want
it.
to know why. I want to know what the beef is. I want to know. Let's get some clarity. Let's get
Is
some.
it
Let's
from?
clear. Let's clear the air here. You know,
Is
I
it
don't. I
from?
want to know what's
That
up.
time from Lashid. Like, give us more details.
Oh, so Lashid, somebody said don't bring her up, but I'm gonna bring her up because why I don't really watch her channel, but I hear her name being thrown around a lot. So what's the smoke there? Like, what's
Sometimes
the
she be
issue?
doing too much. LOL.
Look, she cool, y'all, but I don't know, y'all. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. It's just, I think a lot of this stuff, I don't
She
even want
pro
to bring
black
it up.
and we pro
You
mixed.
know what's funny? You know what's funny? So I was on Rashida
She
Shober's
pro black.
channel. No, I was on Rashida Shober's channel because I don't like to just. A lot of people don't like her or whatever, but I was just trying to understand. I like to like get to know people, understand them, see where they're coming from, and I kind of agree with her on a lot of things. I don't think people should be discriminated because their skin color, of course. But I was watching her channel, and then she shouted out Lashid. So Lashid is like a big supporter of like
Yeah,
Rashida
she been
Shober.
around for a long
So
time.
I'm like, that's interesting.
Her
It's
and
like,
Miranda, her and
Okay.
Miranda
yeah.
been beefing.
Who and who? I see
Her
here
and
she was.
Miranda
Oh,
were
Miranda, we're beefing.
at one point, yeah. She was going
Wow.
on Miranda's live and going on people live and hybrid live and on my live and all that stuff.
But I'm saying, like, okay, I think if she could support Rashida Shober, I think we should kind of, because we don't want to be discriminated against for our skin color evil. Like, we got some commonalities there that we could all like come to agreement. Like, let's not be sitting here bashing each other for how we are. Like that, I think we could all come to agree that nobody wants that. So I think that's just one thing we should agree
I
on,
have no
right? Or
problem
no?
with you
Right.
being pro black. It's the point is you can't discriminate against somebody else's skin tone.
That's the whole point, exactly. But it's like a cycle that needs to be broken. Because I was listening to like Rashida Strober talk about it. She was like, there's
But they need to
it's
stop.
colorism that's passed down to like the kid, like
But they need to
they
stop
see
doing too
other
much
kids.
too.
Yeah, no, it needs to be healing. We do need to create a space that we're not just re-traumatizing each other, just keep hurting, going back and forth, and just re-traumatizing. We need to have some healing so we don't
I'm
keep doing
pro
the same shit.
humanity. I'm neither pro
Yeah,
black or pro mix. I'm pro humanity. That's
I'm
what
pro
I'm.
mixed and pro
That's
humanity.
let's
why.
get back to
That's
reality.
why. That's why I'm a Baha'i.
I'm pro mixed and pro humanity.
Yeah,
And then
I
of
think.
course
Listen,
I'm human
I'm
too.
pro
I have
God.
my prejudice against certain type of humans and all of that. I work on it every day. So I'm not perfect, but I'm pro humanity at the end of the day.
I'm pro
Yeah,
God.
like
I'm
I
pro
think
God,
that's
y'all.
realistic. I think it's realistic that we could just stop, like us in our space, because we've dealt with it a lot. That we could stop discriminating on people because of their skin color. That's realistic because we've been through it. Like we don't want to do that to other people, right? So that's one thing we could all just agree on. That would help people out. So I think that's very pro humanity. So we don't need to do that in our
Actually,
space at
we
all.
already, like I said, I'm gonna read a book on this princess, a woman, and get back on our history and all that stuff.
I think this whole like golden sphere space, I think like right now I think it's going through like a detox. Like we're trying to like detox this space of like, there's a lot of people who come on here and like who are in a place of hurt and resentment, who are not in a good place, and they come in here, anybody come out here for free and say whatever they want, and it causes a lot of more hurt and resentment because people are hearing it and like
Right,
causing a lot, so it's like we just
yeah,
trying
the
to
grounded base.
detox the space. Hello,
Yo,
thank
grounded
you for
base,
being
she
here.
do be doing that. She's crazy.
Right, colorism ain't my problem. It is though, because this is what happens. Look, this is what happens. A lot of jealousy there. People get treated better than like light skin. That this is what I was hearing from Rashida Sharp, trying to understand like her side of things. So it causes a lot of jealousy, and then we get bullied a lot because it's like there's a jealousy there. So it's a cycle that needs to just end. That we could all just stop. And I don't even know why I brought that up. I'm sorry. I was trying to talk about Lashid. Like I don't know.
But
I'm just
she
trying
is
to.
crazy. She demonted and she got so much she gets our women.
Oh
And
God.
I don't want to discuss colorism.
Magic,
Uh-huh.
Melota. I could just say, some individual in the space might not like Lashid. I personally do, and I'm just saying, don't be biased. Do your own
My own
research,
research, right?
and
Yeah,
you
definitely.
determine yourself. Don't let other
I
people
did my
sway your
research.
opinions because, like,
Excuse
I
me,
don't
ma'am. I
like
did
for
my
example,
research.
I can emphasize because I almost been gone in that space 3 months, and I have brand
Excuse,
new people who don't
excuse me,
like
ma'am.
me.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have nothing against you, ma'am, but
It says I
she's
don't want to talk about
crazy.
colorism. Okay.
She's crazy, and she's too into it. She's too out of it, and she talk about you know things that's not irrelevant. Basically.
So okay, this is what somebody said. about when it comes to like if we come way too focused on race, it kind of does drive you crazy. You guys agree with that? Like if you become
Yes.
overly focused on race, and if we
Yes.
only like yeah, because we got to find other things
100%.
we have in common outside of just what race we are. You know what I'm saying? If
We can
you
talk
know,
about it
so
though in healthy ways though, but a lot of people
yeah,
become very schizo about it, which is where
right.
the line has to be drawn. And then not only that, but it becomes much more exhausting than my own workouts at the gym because topics like that just exert so much energy out of you.
Exactly. So Hazel, you can't stop. Oh yeah, definitely. You can't control that whatsoever. But it's just
So
saying
the
people
situation is
are.
like there's more
Oh, go ahead.
biracials. In my personal opinion, there's more biracials in this country than there probably are like MGMs or light skins. So
Right.
like it is really y'all issue more so than ours. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Can we all just be a whole group, guys?
Yeah, like I said earlier, though, in the stream, is still that I may be MGM, but my experiences and the questions I get are precisely the same as somebody who is FGM. And if anything, people only compare me to FGM celebrities.
What happened to Diana?
Oh, she left. Thank you for coming up here. I wish you're welcome anytime. Thank you. You brought some great points. I appreciate you. Colorism isn't an issue for biracial people. People don't care. Oh, she's coming back. Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's turn up tonight. Yeah, like good, a lot of
Hey,
things.
y'all, I'm sorry my connection dropped. I have about her study at 8 a.m.
Okay.
Not 8 a.m. 8 p.m. every Friday because I work graveyards. I had to try to squeeze everything in on Friday because I'd be knocked out on Thursday when I get off. So y'all have a nice night and thank you for
Thank
inviting
you
me.
so much. I appreciate you.
Someone in Discord told me they having a live stream about your video. My heart dropped like, oh my God, I hope I'm not being attacked. I hope I'm not
Oh
being attacked
no.
again. And
You're
then
welcome here
then I like, oh no,
anytime.
it's chill. It's chill. It's chill. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah,
I do
definitely.
appreciate
You're
it.
welcome anytime. Thank
I'm
you.
Have a
telling you,
great night.
I'm telling
Have
you
a
You
that
great
she's
night.
the one who do that. But good night.
good.
Good
Oh
night.
God,
Thank
James.
you.
All right. Good night. Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye. Okay, let's talk
Good night,
about
Can I respond to that comment? What do you mean you looked up MGM and it meant one biracial, one white, one black parent? Like MGM is not even like a technical word. Like it's you know what I'm saying?
it say hold on, I want to address sentences don't even
And
like
like
that's why we need to unite. Look, future is golden.
this is what I'm saying. People say a lot of things that don't even make sense. Like
I think we should
That's why we need
no,
education. That's why we're trying to
I got
communicate and trying to educate each other about things that
I got
we're not really aware of. So that's the whole
got a name
point.
for us. I got one. Me-ish American, I guess.
British American. I'll go by that. Sure. I need
Yeah,
a name.
it means
No,
mixed
or
race
mulatto
American.
Let's see. Hold on. I want to say about that's why the whole point of this stream, so we could, because we're basically almost like not one and the same. Of course, there's differences between biracials, MGM, but MGM started out like their lineage started out with the biracial somewhere. So I just know my descendants. So there is gonna be like MGMs are really like gonna be like the dominant people in this space, eventually because like you said, we can't depend on the swirlers. Speaking in this space, I mean people who are gonna be the most visible, the MGM people. So what y'all think about that?
Um,
Well, there's a reason why I'm in this space and a reason why I'm
Exactly.
here and playing a core role in this.
I have no clue. Like you honestly, like I probably think you're biracial or something if I would have saw you on Facebook, especially with blue eyes. So I don't even know unless you tell me like what you are.
Exactly, because again, like a lot of people think I'm FGM, and I mean I'm 30 years old, and people have been thinking I'm FGM since I was 12. Like I'm compared to
You're
FGM
biracial passing.
celebrities like
Yeah,
Elliot
essentially what I'm
biracial
saying
Page,
now,
Jesse
passing.
I
Williams, and
kind of thought
Jeremy
you was
Meeks.
something else.
there's too many different
That was
phenotypes
about
to really know like who is who and what is
Yeah,
what.
there's
Like, in
so
my
many
opinion.
phenotypes. Yeah,
Like
there's so
Diana
many.
has a totally different phenotype than like him, the other guy. You know, so it's like, how do you know if they even related? Because like she looks way different than him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even FGMs. I mean, not even FGMs. They can look different, and then even us, yeah, MGMs, we can look also very vastly different from one another too. It's just because I just have a higher concentration of like European DNA within me.
And
That's
you
probably
talk white.
why
And you
we
talk
are
white.
phenotypically
You have
different.
like a white accent. Yeah.
Oh, let's talk
Yeah,
about
then
that.
yeah, I guess you could say that she's culturally,
Let's
I
talk
guess
about
probably
that.
say quote unquote black, but people have called me culturally white.
So let's talk about that. RGB.
Whatever that
Let's
means.
address the beef.
I'm not
Let's
culturally
let's
white
You have
address.
a white accent.
I'm not
when I
So-
first talked to you, I
I'm
thought
not
you were
culturally white
biracial.
or black.
hold
I'm
on, y'all.
culturally-
Me
culturally
and
One at a time.
RTBC. Hold on, y'all. Me and RGB, we're gonna address the beef right here. So when we talked, you said that you don't really like it's not that you said that you don't really trust biracial people because you know you're not used to being around white people and the history of that. So it's like there's kind of a beef there. And then somebody on my other live stream they said that oh you said that oh I know why I don't know who they're referring to, but I know like you said like Latinas have like you have kind of like you feel some way towards like Latina people and biracial people and you just there's a lot of things you don't like about us. So let's address it. So
Wait, what was that?
somebody said that on my so I had to address it. I had to sit here and
I
address
said that?
like, yeah, you said that oh you don't like this girl's voice because she sounds like a Latino and you don't like their voices or something like that or
Which girl?
even though I know your baby mama Hispanic
Which,
and
hold
Latino.
on, which girl?
I don't even know because I don't be watching my lives. I don't be watching them. I just be doing them and then
Yeah, I don't
post them.
remember. I don't
So
remember that.
anyways,
You have to like tell me the
anyways,
whole
but I
detail.
think you made a good like okay, what we were talking about is how like me as a biracial person, I could identify with like an MGM person. You know what I'm saying? But it's like hard. You said it's hard for you as an MGM person to identify as like a biracial person because it's
Oh
like,
yeah, exactly.
and it's like because you're not used to being like you said you had mixed people in your family, but you were saying you were going far with it. Like you said that you know you don't really you said because you said about like how biracial people how some of them like think like blackness is like hood and culture like going like doing hood rat shit and stuff that's what they
Oh
think so
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why you
yeah.
don't really like us like they
Yeah.
because a lot of biracial people
Yeah, I'm running into a
So
lot
they're-
of biracials who were doing that. Like I was like, you know, it threw me off a little bit. I'm like, what are you doing?
yeah so I'm trying to address it right now so let's sit here and hash it
Excuse me.
out so you know like so are you willing to
Wait,
like
are you
change your
somebody
view
we know?
or who RTB? He been in this space. I remember he used to be on EU's live. They got into it at 1.2 because he's
Are
saying
you a
something about
dark-skinned
how
man?
he don't like light skin because you think that no because you think that
I'm a
biracial
purple
people
man.
you said that like I think you have a beef with like did you have biracial more like mixed women because you feel like they always get like dark skinned men or something like that or because they don't really like light skinned men or is it
if
based
you
off
come
that
to
or
about women and we ain't gonna let you do
Oh
that.
yeah, like a lot of I seen a lot. I know there's a lot of biracials date dark skin dudes back in the day. I don't know about now, like but back in the day. So
back in
like
the day?
you know, yeah, a lot of them they dating dark. I don't know if they had kids with them or not, but a lot of them were dating dark skin dudes.
So what do you feel about that? So you feel like you'll just never that's how you feel about like biracial people and I'm just trying to like but at the same time I see you like you support me like you've supported my channel you've actually
Yeah.
you said you want to help us at the same time
And
too
I
so
don't. I
it's
want
like
to.
You
I'd like
can't do
donating
it
too.
both, sir.
no
What?
listen so it's like you want to be an ally and stuff but we just have to like clear the room so you can like familiarize yourself and like have some understanding it's all about educating yourself like Diana said so we could have some mutual understanding so we don't got to sit here and you feel some type of way towards us or you have some type of stereotype or because I do want to be allies with MGM people and because I feel like they're going to be my kids like one day like my kids are going to be MGMs and so I want to make sure us biracial people and MGM people could like be true allies with each
Vanguard,
other.
yo, come holla at me when you got a biracial wife, man. Like, come holla at me, bro.
Mulatto Vanguard is mulatto.
If you ain't got a biracial wife or biracial kids, and I think you a self hater, right?
Are you mixed?
He's against the men.
Call me
He's
whatever.
throwing the men under the bus, trying to gain access
We're not
to the
going to
women.
talk about.
All right, so
Are you
what I will say
biracial or
here,
something?
so what I'll say here is that whatever biases or any kind of underlying prejudice anyone has, I would kind of like encourage you guys to hey, change your hearts so that everyone in the space could feel as though they're in a safer space still because it'll be kind of like me going up into like a lesbian space and I'm over here saying like homophobic like comments and all that other stuff, is that really going to make them feel welcome and safe? No. Same principle with
Right.
us.
Good point.
So
Good
whatever,
point.
like there's beef with other MGMs or biracials, just pretty much squash that, because we're not really looking for people to come in and subvert the cause.
Is he
Exactly.
even biracial or is he even mixed?
He's MGM. He's MGM. He's
Okay,
I'm not
multi-generational.
gonna answer that question because the question gets too sticky around these spaces. I'm a man of God. That's what I am.
I am too, but I don't take disrespect.
We're all gonna. That's the whole point. We need to just respect
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
Let's.
And it comes down to, look, it really comes down to like people's cultures. Like some people are more like raised in black culture, some people are raised more white culture, and we both need to just
But hold on,
respect.
but we gotta remember it's more than just white and like black
But
culture.
exactly. There's
But
Hispanic
I'm neither
cultures.
my
There's
parents,
every
I'm neither my
culture.
mom or my dad.
Let's all respect like the cultures that we're part of. You know what I'm saying? I think that'll help a lot in these spaces, and
Yes.
not sit here and you know what I'm saying. And if we do, like, there's nobody's above criticism. Of
I
course,
don't know unless
people.
they tell me what culture they like to him to me like he sounds very country. I can't tell what race he is.
That's why we talk to people. You ask him what culture is he from. Like he's a he's a mixed
Is there a
person.
cowboy hat too with the suit on?
Yeah, you don't got to make assumptions about people. That's why communication is so important. So we don't just assume that this person's one way and then you like have already a prejudgment. You're already,
I'm
you know
from
what I'm
Texas.
saying? We
You
got to
got a
fight
problem?
prejudice. We got to fight prejudice in these spaces because we don't want to judge people if they come from a certain culture. Like that happens a lot. People think that's like a lot of people like the whole colorism thing, people judging based off skin colors. We don't want to do that, and we don't want to sit here and judge people based off what culture they come from. Just because somebody comes from black culture doesn't mean they're this way, or some people just come from white culture doesn't mean that they're this way. Like we need to just get to know people as individuals and not make sure we're making a bunch of assumptions about them just because they talk a certain way or they're from a certain culture that you're not familiar with. It's all about getting to
I'm
know people.
biracial.
Okay. Well, biracial is a new thing. I don't think people identified as that in the past. I don't know what y'all identified as the past, right?
They did
Like 10
identify.
years ago, like
Yeah, they.
like I don't know, like what y'all identified as. Like I
So
didn't.
this is what
They
happened,
did
and
identify.
like in America, like outside of America, people are more likely to identify as mixed. But in America, they had the whole racist one drop rule where they tried to destroy our communities of like mixed people, and they tried to just throw them into like the mulatto term got
But
replaced for the
if the
term
one drop rule is overturned, shouldn't society be reflecting that like in some sort of way?
wait,
Hey,
if what?
guys. So, hey,
I think
Priscilla,
someone
I
had
have to
said in
step
the
out for
stream
a
that it
bit.
was overturned a long
Okay.
time ago.
Okay.
What were you saying?
Oh no, I was saying that I gotta step out for a bit. Gotta charge my phone. But hey, it's nice
All
talking to
right, thank
everybody.
you
But
for
I would
being
say
here. I
like
appreciate
RT,
you
like
so
whatever. If
much.
there's
I'm
like an
staying
underlying
on.
bias or prejudice you may have, get rid of it, bro. We don't really want that in our space. It
Right.
just let it go.
Yeah, that's
Let
for
I don't
everybody.
listen,
purify
like I
your
don't
heart,
have no
sanctify
underlying
yourself.
I don't have no underlying prejudices. Like you know what I'm saying. I
Really.
may troll a little bit, like the way the people are in the chat are. That's about it. But like I don't have no underlying biases. Like y'all, I still got bills to pay at the end of the day. Like what's the point of that? Like it's not gonna pay my bills
I
doing that.
heard that
Exactly.
you don't like mixed men if you're MGM.
No, I mess with y'all. I like y'all.
So
My son's biracial, so like yeah.
But I think we've had some good conversations, even though we've some of our conversations have went left, and But I think our good conversation. I think what I do like about you is that you want this space to be productive. Like what you and Mulatto Vanguard have in common is both want to practice like power economics and making sure like we got our money up, and you know what I'm saying. We're being we have some power through money,
Well,
and
there's
that we're
so much
supporting each
tribalism.
other. So I think that's
There's
something
only
that
so
we
much
need
I
to.
can do. There's so much tribalism in this space. At the end of the day,
But I'm saying like that's why we need to like.
I'm here to just contribute to the conversation a bit, but that's about it. Like I'm only going to like put in as much as like people put into me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, but it's all about building like a culture of us supporting each other.
You
Like
can't.
that's what we
I
should
mean,
do.
we can build it, but like you got a lot of trolls in the chat, like they're being being kind of gaslighting and stuff. So it's like, and you remember you asked me why that one guy he said he didn't feel comfortable here because of because he's not white and black or something.
Yeah.
So
Is that kind
people
of how you
going
feel?
around, No, no, like that's. I mean, that's how anybody would feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I want this space to be
if
more
people wanna,
expansive. It's not just I don't want only a certain type of people. I want all of us to be like have a I don't know, it's hard. That's why I kind of have a shout out to my Patreon. Anybody want to join my Patreon? That's why I have a Patreon because I
yeah.
want to do
See,
have a
I
real
support.
safe
Yeah,
space where we could actually like come to because you can't really do that on YouTube because anybody could come along and try to, troll you and sit here and that's why I really got a Patreon. Thank you for being part of my Patreon and I really want to have us have real productive like conversations
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
actually like
Productive,
a
right?
real safe space where we could actually like not have people come along and derail the conversation and troll
Yeah.
us and
'Cause
actually
I'm
have like
mainly here
professional people. Yeah.
as like an anthropologist, right? To really just study all these different groups, not necessarily
Yeah, that's
like
important. And it's
be a
Why are
important.
part
you
of it.
really
Like that's
here?
why you don't see me throwing around Golden Spear or
Why are
Exotical
you
Spear
really
or
here?
MGM. You see it on my channel, like I don't necessarily actually
Okay.
promote any of these little spears. I just, I
Why
really
are
just
you
study
really
them
here, sir?
because I'm studying it just like anybody else.
Why you need to study us if you're MGM?
If you live in a country full of vast a bunch of different groups, it's it's good to study the different groups, how they think, how they feel, how they gonna move, how they plan on moving. So like, yeah, that's what it is. Like you don't you know what I'm saying? Most people are never gonna run into like any of these people anyway. Y'all live thousands of miles away. So like you got a lot of you guys are in Texas. Like I never been to Texas ever, never gonna go there. The West Coast. I mean actually I probably will go there. I actually like Texas from what I'm hearing about it. But yeah, I'm just here to study. That's it. Like, that's why you don't see me, throwing golden spear around or biracial spear or exotical spear or MGM spear or light scan, none of these little terminologies and stuff like that. Um, yeah, it's
It's
just,
not terminology, it's identities.
identities. Yes,
I don't
identities.
think you're
Yes.
I don't think you're here just looking for women. I don't think
No,
that's
no,
why you're
like,
here.
no, I'm not here
I
looking
don't think
for no
that's true
woman.
because you don't even you said you like
I mean, he can say anything. We gotta watch out for
mm,
these trolls.
other races of men don't respect you guys. This is very reason you slander men, praise the women for so they're basically saying, yeah, oh my goodness. So there's a lot of beef here. I was trying to clear up beef, but I created more beef, I guess.
Well, yeah, they're just trolling. Like, I don't know why I don't know if they're trolling because they're paid trolls, like they got like hidden agendas, or because like
I don't
they
feel
Mulatto
like
like
we have
or
Vanguard
to
is
they're
not
read.
just very
he's not
tribal.
a
What was
he's
It
that?
not
says
a troll.
He
I
is a
don't
troll. Because
feel
like, why are you projecting things onto me? I don't even know you, never talked to you. You don't even know what I look like. You don't know anything about me. So
that's why I
like,
wish we could come
again,
up
that's
here and just
trolling.
communicate.
When you
I
Like
mean,
don't
I
know what I
don't
look
care
like,
how
you
you
communicate.
don't know
show
my
your
background.
face.
I could be a biracial for all you know, and I could just be lying. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know anything about me, but you're projecting.
I
So it's
mean,
like
Let's
that's
that's
called
why
trolling.
I've been trying to encourage communication here. Like I would love for you guys to just come up, communicate so we don't have to hate each
Yeah,
other,
because that's trolling. Like that's trolling. I'm sorry, it's
LOL,
trolling, bro. Like you don't
Mulatto
even know the
Vanguard, you're
person
right.
or the person's background. Like you're trolling, bro. Like
Yeah,
those
just
So why
cuz
don't
comments,
you have a
I'm
channel
sorry that
then?
those comments are like time wasting as hell. Um,
it
Why
says
don't you have a channel then? Mulatto Vanguard asked.
I
he
do
has
have a channel. See, you don't even know. I had a channel in this space for like 5 years. Okay, like you don't even know. Like it's because I don't, I don't go
we
on
all
his
just get
channel. Like
along.
I'm not too interested in like, his content or whatever. Some people, if I like your content, I watch it. If I don't really like it, then I probably won't watch it. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm just okay, can we talk about I want to go back to what you were telling me about all the different tribes of like MGM people and stuff like that. I think people should educate themselves about like the
Yeah, yeah.
different
It's
tribes and
all
how
over the
they
internet.
yeah. So what are the main different tribes you said that were like you think people should research and so they could have more understanding about like MGM people and the history in this country that's not really known about, you know?
Well, the light skin thing is kind of like, that's those are just byproducts. I wouldn't necessarily call them a tribe of people
Mhm.
because if they're not like inundating or have any like, like real influence, like they're just like I think like I just call them random byproducts. Like
No. I mean, they still kind of a
if they're
group.
not doing anything, then like, they're just,
Well,
it's kind
yeah.
of like, yeah, they're not doing anything. So like the black communities is the situation is the black community is majority like darker skin. So it's like,
I mean,
um,
they're black. I mean, of course.
So it's like, you know, like light skins are like a quote unquote like a very small, tiny minority of people. Like they're not really relevant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
we
you
are
don't feel
only.
like you're relevant. You don't feel like you're relevant as a person, even though you are.
Oh, that community of people is not relevant.
No, I'm talking
Like
about you as a
go to any
person.
black community, what it's like 99% dark skin.
So I'm saying, do you feel like you're relevant as a person? You don't feel like your experience and who you are and your history and you don't feel like you're relevant?
No, probably not. No.
I don't feel like that. I feel like I'm relevant. Shit. Even if other people, I'm not going to go by if other people think I'm relevant or not. I know I'm relevant because I exist and I'm having my experience, and other people are too. So it's not like we could just go by, oh, other people think we're relevant. No, we stop giving our power to other people. Like we got to take back our power and just put
Right.
ourselves on the fucking map, and not sit here and worry about if other
Like I
people
said, I'm trying
care
to
about
build us.
us or not. Yeah.
I'm trying to build us a country. What y'all think the name should be?
Building the country, that's very, very, very ambitious. Like, you know, good
Yes, I'm
luck.
trying to make a. I'm trying to get some donations.
Yep. So yeah, I definitely think
And
that.
it's like just like when you said like you barely run into biracials, like I barely run into light skins. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Most
but
of
we
most of the
we
people you're
exist.
gonna
That's
work
why the
with and
internet is a
know are
blessing. That's
gonna
why
be non-light skinned, non-biracial.
Right.
That's my point, right?
yeah, of course. That's why we were trying to pass like hate crime bills because it's so easy to like single us out because you'll be the only person like MGM or however you identify that in at work or at school, and it's easy for us to get singled out. That's why we're trying to pass a hate bill because of that issue. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You run into biracials every day, and that proves my point that there are more biracials than MGMs because a lot of the black guys are having biracial kids. So, like, you know, the movement will essentially be more of a biracial issue than the light skin, right?
But our children, our children are gonna be MGM, right?
Yeah, MGM. So, like,
So they're
but
part of the movement too, because they're gonna be descendants of us. So they're gonna have their own. We want them to have their own
Right.
identity as well too. So they are part of the movement. So
I will
yeah,
want my. Yeah, my daughter is MGM.
so the MGM, okay, so like, okay, cool, cool, cool.
so yeah, so that's why we're interconnected. That's what I'm trying to just establish that
I
interconnection
mean,
that
it's
we
all
have
because
with each
united.
other.
I'm not trying to police anybody. Why would I try to police anybody? Yeah.
Yeah, because like again, like I think a lot of quote unquote light skins are products of biracials.
They are. That's what
So
I'm saying. That's what they are. Yes. That's true. That's why we're all interconnected. That's why we got to just find some commonality
I mean,
and
how you
move
think?
together. We could work together instead of sitting
Like I said,
here.
we should call it as Asian Americans or mulattoes or mulattas.
MLS said I'm by MGM, and I fucks with people that have black mixed with them, biracial or not. I look. I don't believe in isolating ourselves. Like go out. We all live normal lives. We don't just live on the internet where we're only around people who are like us. Like I believe we should go out and be proud of who we are and represent our community. If we're building a community, this is like the beginning of it. We're building a community of like people and creating our own identities and not letting other people define our identities anymore. We got to represent ourselves. We got to sit here and represent ourselves the best way we can to the world and to all other communities that are already established and already have clout and have social power and influence. And we gotta we're not going against them. We're all living together with everybody. We just want to have our own identity and not let other people define us no more, right? So that's all it is. We're still living with them. We're not going to just like go to a cave and run away and not associate with them no more. Like that's unrealistic. We're going to freaking associate with everybody in America because we're the black community, white community, Mexican community, Hispanic community, let's see, Puerto Rican, all the different communities. We're gonna all interact together. But we're just
yeah,
still
and
trying
I
to,
feel
yeah.
like that's where a lot of the issues actually come from. Is like the fact that there's so many different communities and it's just random people everywhere. It's very, very hard to
Yeah. So I guess I'm
understand
gonna
who
I'm
is
gonna
who,
close
right?
this out
But
soon. I'm gonna close this out. So I think we look. I think we need to respect black people, of course. Monoracial black people. We definitely need to. We come from them. We come from
I
them.
mean, I don't have to
We gotta
respect
respect.
anybody.
Well, I think we should. I would suggest it, but everybody make their own choices. I think we
Yeah,
respect
hello.
white people and they're freaking. I come from a white. We should respect Latino. We should respect all cultures, all of the people, You know what I'm saying? We gotta heal from the hurt. Of course, they've caused hurt and damage to them, but we don't want to continue that cycle of like hurt people forever. We don't want to sit here. Of course, we gotta defend ourselves and stand up for ourselves. Of course, that's one thing, but I don't think we should. We gotta respect ourselves first and foremost, because you know what I'm saying. If we gotta respect ourselves, and yeah. So that's what I should suggest on my platform. Everybody they could speak on whatever they want to feel on their platform, but I
Well,
think
yeah,
I just want to be a positive influence in this space, so we can try to be positive people, productive. I want to encourage us being positive, productive people that we're taken seriously by society. We're looked at as not like, we're competent, capable, and beautiful, amazing people, and that we are loving, positive, wonderful. That a lot of
yeah,
biracial
brown
mixed
and
people
beige,
are.
facts. Just business, no beef, just business. And if it's good business, it's good, and if it's no business, it's no business, right?
Yeah, exactly. You want to be able to respect people you do business with, I guess, So I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to just start a conversation just to get us thinking about things,
Yeah, I
That's all I
understand.
want.
I understand, but the whole conversation is thrown off because you have like a lot of random people in the chat just saying random things that don't really make any sense.
That's
Yeah,
why
it
we
was
gotta
somebody
talk.
named it. Yeah, it was somebody named the shit for you, spam.
I know I blocked her. Don't worry. I seen her trolling. I blocked her.
Actually, I don't even
He was
watch your
talking to
channel.
he was
I see
talking
that.
about my wife.
I blocked her. Don't worry. So I think logically and practically, not with my heart. I think logically too, and I think logically, definitely, definitely. I think
No, I'm saying what you're saying is random stuff, because a lot of stuff doesn't make sense.
why does it make sense? What
Because
don't make sense? It
if
makes
light
sense to
skin,
me.
yeah, because most in my opinion, most light skins are a product of like biracials with black guys.
That's what I said. I said that.
So
I said that. That was my
so
point.
so if that's true, if that's true, right?
Uh-huh.
Then you have people saying if they have a biracial kid with a black guy, it's still mixed. So it's like the
Yeah,
term
I'm a
light
product do
doesn't.
that. My mother is white, my daddy is black.
Yeah.
What? I don't get what you're saying. I don't understand. You're saying that what?
So you
I'm
guys,
saying that
no, I'm talking about the
okay.
people in the chat. We're saying that.
They are mixed. They'll be 75%. That's still considered mixed.
Okay,
That
so then
still
why a
is.
lot of people saying light skins are not mixed?
They are mixed. Who said they weren't
Right.
mixed? Who said they weren't mixed? That don't make sense. If you tell
They
them
call
that
them
they're
black
not.
people in the chat, right?
Oh, okay. No, no, we gotta establish that. Even if you're 75%, like that's still mixed at the
Because
end
if
of
a
the day.
biracial has a
Right.
child with
Because
a
you
black
still have
person,
black
a
in
lot of
you.
You're
biracials
still
do that.
mixed.
A lot of
So
biracials
let's
have kids with black people. That's very common.
yeah. So yeah, I see what you're saying. Like that don't make sense. Like no, they're still mixed. Like at the end of the day, like they really are. Biracial
Okay.
and mixed. Yeah, biracial and mixed is different. Exactly. It
What
is.
about
Yeah, they're mixed.
For
my
Okay.
sure.
biracial
So
parents
now,
was
now they're
white.
mixed because they were
Biracial
you
was
called them
white.
black before. So I'm saying
Yeah,
a lot
that
of these light skins are product of biracials and blacks. So it's
yes,
you
they
know
are
what I mean?
like Rihanna. Rihanna, her
Oh,
dad is
that
biracial, and Beyonce, all of them. Like a lot of them are definitely for sure.
well,
But the
she has like a
children are
Creole
mixed.
mother and like a kind of like a brown skin father. Yeah, for sure.
Her
Um,
mom is biracial. So yeah,
oh, she's biracial. Oh, okay. So
the mom is yeah.
okay. See, I don't know. See, I don't know. I thought she was Creole or something. Someone said she was
She is
Creole.
Creole.
She is Creole though. She's
Biracial Creole.
Louisiana.
There we go. Louisiana biracial.
Yeah,
See, like a lot of this
yeah.
is confusing.
But but it's
Yeah, some
complicated.
people in my family are Creoles too.
So
Yeah, and
who?
I see them as mixed. Like they're still mixed, but they're
So if
not
they're still mixed,
biracial.
then why y'all call light skins black if they're still mixed or something?
Yeah, well, let's not do that, guys.
Yeah, they're
They're
doing it all
definitely
through the chat.
mixed.
So I'm kind of say it has to make sense because
Yeah, it gotta compute.
light skins aren't like a homogenous group that they're breeding together and
That's what I'm saying.
having distinct group. A lot of these light skins are just products of mixed people with like black people.
Yeah, exactly. That's
So
true.
they're products of biracials with black people. Like literally, like most of them are that. So
Yeah,
some of
definitely.
them aren't. Some of them are kind of
Very
like
true.
DM for sure, but a lot of them, are products of that. So
Yeah.
unless you know what people's parents look like, and their, what I'm saying.
Everybody, okay. I want everybody to watch. My friend Tuti, She has a video of like she breaks down the racial identity of the African diaspora, and she breaks
I'm
it
in
down
Florida.
from moderate.
I see hella mulatto Puerto Ricans procreating with black guys.
I think she broke it down. Her channel is called Your Friendly Neighborhood Exotical. Like she has a brand new channel. I think we should support her. She really made it clear and concise, so we don't sit here and be confused and be like, oh,
What's her
you're this
name?
or you're this when we're not. Where is she? I'll put like the link. I don't know. I gotta find her.
Well, I'm not. I'm
It's called
probably.
Your Friendly. I put it in
I just want to know her
your
name.
Discord.
I just want to know
Her
her
name
name,
is
just in case
Tuti.
I'm
Her name
like.
is Tuti the Bridge. Tuti.
What is she? What's her background?
I'm not sure. I want her to. I was speaking to her. I think she's MGM. I'm not sure though, but she has a channel. It's called Your Friendly Neighborhood Exotical. She just posted like a new video on it, and it was breaking down like it was very clear and concise. It was very like she broke it down like all the different racial identity, like how it's not all like one thing. How like she broke it down from monoracial
So yeah,
to biracial, MGM.
okay,
It
and
was really
Hazel,
good.
if that's true, okay, the
Well,
point is
imagine
like
Mulatto. Have
I'm
you
telling
been
you,
to
most of these
Mulatto?
quote unquote light skins are like product of biracials. So like that's what I mean by that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not just like light skins aren't really an ethnic group. Like because you talk about them like if they're a homogenous ethnic group that procreates with each other and produce.
We are a color from the Ish Americans because Ish means
But that's the
race.
thing. That's the whole point of this space too. A lot of people trying to
I said
define their
mulatto Puerto.
identity.
That's why I was very
Light
specific.
skins are
Mulatto
freaking light
Puerto
skins
Rican.
are
I said mulatto
a
Puerto
freaking
Rican.
race.
Very specific.
Well, or a group because they're light skinned and they share a same
Wait,
phenotype with many people.
what was that?
Light skin is a group.
Yeah.
Oh, Future is Golden. You did a video
Okay,
like
where does
that
that
too?
group come from?
Oh,
That's what
shout
I'm
out to
asking
Future
you.
is Golden.
Where does the light skin group come from? Like, how do they get the admix?
What you talking about? There's so many different types of groups. Like there's so many
That's
different type of
exactly my
action.
point. There's so many different types. It's very
That's what we're trying to that was the whole inspiration of this video. I wanted to educate myself about like the Mongolian, like all like the different MGM groups that you were telling me about that I wasn't aware of.
Those
So
MGM groups I'm telling you about, those weren't even light skinned blacks, quote unquote. Those were like triracial, like
yeah, there's different versions. Exactly. That's why I'm trying to expand our image and our concept of what MGM is. It's not just black and white. It's like people who are triracial, people who are, all these different that's the whole point of this video is me trying to expand like our knowledge of like what MGM
so when
means.
people say that the black community is and when basically when people say the black community is all colors, they mean mixed race. It's all color because that's the one
that's what they mean. Yeah, it is an admixture there.
Oh,
that's what they mean.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like all colors and stuff, like, but it's it's a lot of division. So yeah,
obviously we're going our own way.
Yeah.
So, I feel like this stream kind of went all the way left.
And look, shit, for you keep talking about Hawaii.
Gaslighting, you have to make it has to make sense. It has to make sense if you're gonna be gaslighting.
Let's not gaslight.
For you if you keep talking about my wife. You keep going in my Gmails. If you
See,
keep
when I
talking
studied
about
those triracial groups, those mixed groups in the South, those weren't even quote unquote black, light skinned black or whatever. Light skinned black is literally probably like the closest thing to that.
There's no such thing as light skinned black.
Oh,
I'm gonna need MGM people to like really speak on this more because there's definitely a lot of misconceptions about this and it causes that's the whole we don't need this type of confusion.
I was the same way as y'all. I was the same way. I was thinking, okay, all these blacks who are lighter or light skinned regardless but then I started finding out, okay, that person's a biracial, that person's this and that, whatever, so then I kind of like step back a little bit. Okay, well, these are all different groups and stuff. So let me just, okay, whatever. It is what it is. I just, like whoever I mess with, you know what I mean?
LOL, the brown is beige.
I just feel like, I think that we need to take it seriously. It's not something that's like, oh, this is just whatever. It don't matter. Like it does matter. It does matter.
Right.
Matter.
Especially
it's important.
Especially our lost language.
I think
Remember that?
it's important if we we got to be serious about this type of like education and understanding and trying to like if you're MGM you should like speak on your experiences and you know what I'm saying, and you should like educate other people about like the different groups of that are MGM and stuff, you know, like I think that'd be great. That's what I've been trying to do with my channel, like trying to spread light on like trying to reclaim our history, you know what I'm saying, and trying to say okay, this is mixed history right here, these are mixed people that were doing this, and you know, and MGM people they should do the same, like and speak on all like I want more MGM people from all like the different subgroups and stuff, like be able to have a voice and have a platform to be able to speak on things that we're not aware of, that a lot of people are just not aware of. So that's all about bringing awareness to their
Right.
experiences. So that's what it should be all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm saying.
what I want to
Unless you have
encourage.
like more people to speak on this thing, it will never be completely fair.
Exactly. That's why I want
You
to
know what I'm
encourage.
saying?
That's why it needs to be like a safe space to do it, because we want to come in here and get freaking
Yeah,
bullied, and that's
yeah.
why we need to make this a safe space so people
It's,
can come and
yeah, it's kind of
speak on
like
their experiences. So that's
it's
what we
like
need to
it's like
do.
with Latinos. I thought they had a certain look to them until you realize there's a whole bunch of different ones that look all.
Latinos is their own group, literally.
Yeah, they're their own group, but they
They have a
come in
lot of
like a
different
whole
looks.
different
Yeah,
look. So it's
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
Latin
they're not.
American.
Yeah, and essentially, like you would think Black America is supposed to be like that, right? Kind of like, you know what I mean?
There's a whole different, yeah.
Yeah, like that. Essentially,
Yeah,
that's what I assumed it was supposed to be like. But
But
like
yeah, now
people
we're learning, we're
dividing,
expanding.
and it's
Yeah.
something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
It
like,
says
has to
the
make sense what
problem
you're saying.
is MGMs are on that Black Panther shit. I think a lot of biracial people are too. So it's like
Well, most of these people out there in the public eye on the Black Panther stuff are all biracials. Not even MGMs. They're biracials. They're like,
yes, I'm gonna make a video on that. That we need to stop
because I
being
thought a lot of them were
oppressed
light
people.
skinned too, but a lot of them are biracial. Like, so it's like again, that has to make sense.
he said he's gonna say
Why are mixed
I'm not trying to
people
retrieve people from their
fighting?
Black identity. True.
They're not black. They're mixed, sir.
It
Yeah, like biracial.
says
I mean, Obama's biracial. Colin Kaepernick's biracial. Like,
exactly.
they're
I
all
agree
like
with
biracial.
Hazel.
Yeah, no, yeah. I wasn't trying to be offensive. I'm just saying.
Okay, Hazel's gonna come up here because I think she makes a good. If you're gonna say our movement
Yeah,
is not
drop it. If
real,
you guys are gonna be gaslighting and saying stuff that don't make sense, then like have a
well,
conversation about it.
let's talk about it exactly. But if you're gonna say our movement is not real and you don't have a mixed race spouse, then
Well,
he's not helping. It's saying that okay,
you gotta
yeah,
I
go
put a
ahead,
mean,
whole
that
Hazel.
is true. The
stuff.
lady, she is
Welcome up.
right.
You're welcome.
If you're not helping, if you're not trying to help or build a
I'm
community,
trying to help. I'm trying to help by having a clear conversation on what are y'all talking
I
about.
mean, you need to. I mean, you need to do a little more. I guess, like
We're
we
doing it.
all do. I'm trying to build a
Because
country.
I'm
All
like,
that.
are
All
y'all
right. Hi,
paid
Hazel.
trolls? Are y'all paid
Hey,
trolls or y'all
sweetie.
like just saying
I'm
things that
not
Thank you
a
make
for being
freaking
here.
troll. I'm a
not
man
Hello?
you, not you, the
with a
people in the
wife.
chat. The
All
people in
right,
the chat.
y'all.
Hey.
Don't talk about
Hey,
my people
hey,
like that unless
All
they're
right.
hey.
trolls.
Okay. Hey, Hazel. What's welcome, Hazel.
Hi.
So,
Hi,
yeah.
Magic
Hello,
Lover.
Hazel.
Hi,
Hello. Thank
James.
you.
Hi,
Hello.
I can't even say this person's name. Uh,
Why is it so hard for the
everybody knows each other here in the chat as well. You're a new person, so you're saying that people are randomly saying random things in the chat, but
yes?
we all know each other. You're the newcomer, honey.
No.
Let's
He's been here. He left the space like for like 8 months. So then he
You
came
left the
back.
space for eight.
He
You
left
left the
the
space for
space
8 months.
What?
Okay.
and then he came
Okay.
back.
You
Yeah.
left the space for 8 months, but you're. I mean, you're kind of being rude here. You're kind of being really rude. You came back.
Right.
You're new still, because you don't know us. You don't know the new people that came in, and you're
Well,
saying so. You're making people feel like that they're wrong with certain opinions that you don't agree with, and then you're attacking the spouses or whoever they're dating just because it's a monoracial person. That the spouse is the spouse, or the boyfriend or the baby mama or whatever. That doesn't erase the mixed race person or the biracial person that's in this space really trying to fight for what is the agenda here? To get recognition,
right.
to get protections and stuff like that. That doesn't end because the biracial, for example, let me use Mulatto Vanguard. If his wife was black, he doesn't have, you're trying to say he doesn't have a leg to stand on because now his wife is black. So why would he want different protections and stuff like that? He's still a mulatto man.
Oh,
Yes, he
okay.
has a
So
black wife, but he's a mulatto
it's
man.
about protections. Okay, cool.
Right. It's about protections, and it's about. I mean, if you were here for 8 months, then you would know that Caesar Cannon had a whole petition going on for 2 years about this, and
Yeah,
it
I
Right.
should
heard
have been
about
signed
his
by you.
petition. I just
You
never
should
actually
be
looked at it. I
You
doing a
thought
never
it
little more
was
signed the
research.
petition? You never
no, I
signed
didn't
it?
know what. I actually thought it was about something else. I thought it was about
Mm-hmm.
I thought it
It's
was
If you
good.
do
about
a little
like
more
a
research,
category on
you'll
the census or something. That's what I thought it was
No, it's
about.
about hate protections and stuff like
Yeah, I
that.
just
It's
found out
hate
a
No.
crime.
couple days ago. Someone told me.
You should sign it. I recommend you
Yeah,
sign it.
sign it. I'm a mulata Puerto Rican, and I've signed that thing twice, and I've only been in this space for about maybe 4 months. There's some confusion about the Latino community. They're not a race. Puerto Rican is not a race. Cuban is not a race. That the word Latino means anything. You could be of one race or multiple races. I'm a Latina that is of 2 races. I have a little admixture of indigenous of Puerto Rico. A lot of people in here embrace me as the biracial Puerto Rican or the biracial Latina here. So, my husband is Trinidadian. My first son's father is Indian. So he's mixed. Some may say that he's biracial, but he's mixed. It
That's
doesn't
cool
change the
mix.
fact that that doesn't change the fact that thank you. It doesn't change the fact that I am mixed. I am mixed race, and maybe his dad is a dark skinned Indian. He's still mixed race. He's of 3 races. My husband is Afro Trinidadian. Our 3 children look more mixed than I do. I mean, our 2 children look more mixed than I do.
Yeah,
They're mixed.
my grandfather is a dark skinned Indian from India. Yeah.
Right.
I forgot
Right.
the name
So
of the tribe.
right.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful when you say certain things. That whole thing about, well, when you have a mixed race wife, then come back and talk to me. That's not helpful.
Right.
That's not even accurate.
Right. You
So
need to research before.
race, even in the Caribbean, even in Trinidad, there's also not one race. It's very much like what you see in Puerto Rico and Colombia and Dominican Republic. There is more than one race there. There's a lot of Chinese, there's a lot of Indians, there's Africans, there's Hispanic people from Venezuela, Brazil. People migrate, right? A lot of times they call those people Douglas, right? Blasian King left. I think he was here. He left. He can speak a lot to that. He's biracial. He's Blasian. He has Jamaican in him, and then he has Indian in him.
How does he sound
So
Chinese?
why does he sound Chinese?
Yeah. How do you get
You
his
got to
Chinese
ask him that.
Yeah,
When you catch him in here, then
I did
ask
ask
him
him.
that question.
He said he doesn't know.
Yeah. So no. That's my buddy though. He's a young guy. He's very, very nice.
Very
It's
cool.
follow him, and hit that bell. And when he goes live, you can ask him a lot
Yeah,
of
shout
questions.
out to Blasian King. Follow
Yeah,
Blasian King. He's awesome.
in
Yeah.
Miranda's world.
Right,
Yeah.
Miranda's. Well, I just want you to understand that we can't go by what your spouse is to legitimize or delegitimize what this space is trying to do. Now, I do connect with biracial people. I'm just another type of one, or mulatto people, right? Because I am Puerto Rican, but I'm mulata as well. So there's mulatas of other nationalities. You got them everywhere. We're
Right. I'm
everywhere, baby.
mulatto too.
Yeah, we're like 1,000 flies to a pile of shit, baby. We're everywhere. So when you hear this space talking about different protections, recognition, being put back on the census as mulattoes or biracial or mixed, which biracial is not a new word. That's been around for a long time. It's just that more people are using it now, but that's not a new word. That's a recognizable word, I guess, depending on where you're from. The spouse still has nothing to do with that. Your spouse has nothing to do. They can be an ally, right? But they have nothing to do with that, with what's going on here. You cannot stop being an advocate for yourself just because you have this spouse here. So like, there's this thing going on where a Latino person or a Black person cannot talk, are being ridiculed for talking about racism. Or how are you part of Black Lives Matter, or you hate the cops, and you over here married to a white man? They do this to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez because she's Puerto Rican, and she's supports civil rights and a lot of humanitarian things. And she's very much against racism, but she's engaged to a white man. So now they like to flip that and use that against her. We cannot do that here. Just because you have a spouse that is monoracial doesn't mean that you come now and say, well, how are you even a golden sphere? How are you even in this type of space when you're not even with a mixed person?
Yeah, we can't do that. We don't need to bring that type of talking points and stuff into our space. I don't think it's productive. I don't think it's going to help anything. So yeah, I agree with you, Hazel.
It's not really gonna make this community, the best, I guess, in their image.
Definitely, we should just focus on being the best we can be, and definitely, I do think we should encourage people to get it because it is so discouraged. Like Future's Golden made a good point. It is very discouraged. So I don't think we need to discourage it. Of course, we should encourage it, but we shouldn't sit here and focus and be like, "Oh, you're not pro mix if you don't have a mix." Like I don't think that's healthy. I think that causes too much division in our community, and I don't think that's healthy. So what do you think about the RTGG? You got anything to respond to that, or
which part?
About how we shouldn't sit here and be about what you said about
other race. About you talking about the dating thing?
I'm talking about
or marriage. Anybody in the space that is married to a monoracial white person or a monoracial Black person.
Well, you talking about the dating, promoting and dating, right?
I'm talking about like our space. Like we don't want people in our space.
There are people in the space who are already married to either a monoracial white person or a monoracial Black person.
Of course. Like, love who you love. But like I'm saying, like, don't other groups do that? Like Black people, Black love, Black of the berry, sweet of the juice. Like, isn't that promotion, right?
I think there should be promotion.
So then you go be with someone who's generationally mixed. I mean, but that doesn't. That is a whole relationship thing. This space is not just about relationships, and I think that's being taken away.
Baby mother, she's
about culture,
about
mixed, history, about our,
Okay.
So like, I'm interracial dating too. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So you still have to fight. You still have to support what you are. You still have to be proud of what you are, and you still should look for a community because, even though I'm who I am and my husband is Trinidadian, I'm not Trinidadian. I wasn't raised in the Black culture. I was raised in the Latino culture, but I do have similar experiences in the biracial culture. I'm an ally, right? But there are biracial Puerto Ricans, there's biracial Cubans, there's a whole bunch of us. We just don't go by that. We go by Cuban, Dominican, whatever.
Latinos who take up Black culture and dress, like and talk. All that stuff.
What?
The Hispanics who take up Black culture and use the N-word and stuff like that. What's that about?
Wait. Hold on a minute.
Right.
You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. You're trying to create an issue where it's not an issue because I'll tell you something. I'm from New York, baby. I'm from New York, and I've been called the N-word by Black people more than anybody else. So don't go there with me. Nobody's taking your culture. You don't even know our culture to be saying what we take and what we don't.
I don't care. Like I don't see that as my culture. I don't care.
So then you shouldn't even ask. If you don't care, you should not ask.
First of all, don't get rude. Hazel. Second of all,
you're becoming very divisive. You're becoming very divisive.
There's not many Puerto Ricans.
And for you to ask that question, you believe that.
That's why I'm asking.
But you're asking that question because you kind of believe it, and I'm telling you that you have to be careful.
I'm asking why they do that. That's what I'm asking. Like,
well, then you believe it then, and you care about it. I want to know why.
What do you think that's like? Do you think that's like
that is a very inappropriate question? It's a very ignorant question, and it's a very uneducated question because we are called those words by the very people you claim that we're stealing from.
Right, I hear a lot.
And the African drum and African beats have been in Puerto Rico and been in the Latin community in a long time. Just because you hear a heavy bass or you hear reggaeton or whatever, that's not stealing, boo boo. Our
Yeah, I
cultures are
understand.
mixed.
Like, there's no
Well,
little division amongst the New Yorkers with all that. Like, I'm not
no,
from
there
New
is
York.
no division if you don't know. There isn't division
No,
unless
like,
you make the division.
I can't relate to that. I'm not from New York, so it's like
All
it
right,
doesn't.
then so then don't say things that you cannot
Yeah,
relate to. You don't really know. I'm from New
yeah,
York,
yeah. I was
right?
asking, like, what was that about?
Okay, so Ax, don't say that that's what we're doing, because actually that's not what we're doing. And you know that New York, you know, people live amongst each other. There's no more cliques where the Italians live in Brooklyn and maybe in Staten Island and everybody just lives separate. If you live in the inner city, we all live amongst each other. So on a Sunday, apartment 9C is playing merengue, right? Apartment 4D is playing hip hop, and maybe apartment 10C is playing Indian music. And everybody lives together. They play their music. Everybody's listening. Everybody's getting along with each other. You have ignorant people on in every race. But to say that one is stealing, that's got to stop. Because what that is creating a division. We have African ancestry in the Latin culture. A lot of the heavy beats, the conga, the bass, whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, hip hop, whatever. That is part of our culture too. It's not stolen if it's part of your culture.
Right.
That is it.
And if she's mixed, then yes.
Good point. Good point.
It's
Okay.
interesting. Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna have to do a part 2 to this, guys. I feel like there's a lot more that we need to talk about. My phone's about to die. So, has anybody got any last talking points I want to say?
No,
Because
could we
thank you
continue?
guys for
No,
coming up.
I'm good.
no.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you very much. I
I want
appreciate
you to
that.
come up
Okay.
here more. I really love hearing your perspective on things. I love hearing about
I will
you're
try.
very educational. I would love for you to
Thank
come
you.
back. I gotta go. I gotta take my daughter to the park. She's my
Yes.
phone's about to die. But I think this
Okay.
was a
Have a
good
good night,
conversation.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Good,
All right.
good.
So my last point I want to say is like let's just all try to communicate, like we'll educate each other about our experiences and not try to make assumptions about each other. And
Yeah.
that's
Exactly.
gonna
Like
yeah.
that was a stupid question to ask, bro. You didn't have to
Yeah.
do that.
When I was asking.
But you didn't have to
So
do that because it was a part. It's not people's fault that other
Because I
people
know that was
call
like
them
a
that kind of
conversation
name.
like amongst them a long time ago, like about all that. So
It's not their fault that other black people call them those names.
yeah,
Like,
because they had
bro,
that thing going on over there. Yep, yep.
bro, why are you worried about it so much? Anyway, we ain't worried about what's going on. We're trying to worry about in this community.
yeah, let's focus on ourselves. Let's try to
Right.
love ourselves. That's my last. I think we gotta do part 2 to this because I feel like there's so much we didn't touch.
Do you want me on the platform next time, or should
Yeah,
I just
you're
be
welcome on
cloud
my
watch? Or
platform.
should I
Even though
just
people
cloud watch?
disagree, even if people disagree with you and got smoke, I'm sorry. Like I'm trying to just be neutral and trying to just, have us all
Right.
just conversate with each other. So that's my whole thing that I want to do. So even if we disagree and everything. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for being on here, and I feel like there's so much we didn't. There's a lot more. I'm gonna do a part 2 to this, y'all. We need a part 2.
Yeah, if anybody want to debate, I'm free to debate. Whatever.
Yeah, we're free to debate.
Mhm.
I want Mulatto Vanguard up next time. I'm gonna ask him to be up here because I want him to speak on his.
Yeah, we were all together on your
I
last
want
live
I
stream.
want Mulatto Vanguard up here next
I
time.
couldn't talk
Holding
last
it down.
time.
Yeah.
Some stuff.
All right. Thank you guys. You guys go have fun. Go outside. Get
That's your
outside.
that's
Go
your kid.
outside. Yeah, she wanted me. I gotta take her to the park. So my
Mm.
phone. I only did. Okay. Y'all go outside and have a good day, y'all. Love y'all. I love you
God bless.
guys. Okay, bye. Bye. Love y'all.
But gosh. Okay.
Come on.